Welcome back to the WatchTower Film Podcast, the film review podcast on the Towercast Network by Cinephiles for Cinephiles.
Wow. We should really invest in like a soundboard because all of us.
We have a soundboard.
Oh, okay.
The fucking 80s.
Damn, he just called me a soundboard, dude.
Oh, wait. Can you believe that?
No.
Like Eric just did that with his mouth. Like
We are
there
a
was
classy
you wanna see Fincher again?
podcast.
Damn.
Fucking GGG unit.
We just lost.
They call him the siren.
We just lost all audience members.
Yeah.
Above 35.
Who respected us. Yeah, anyone who respected
Like,
this
wow.
podcast.
cred that we had.
A cinephile podcast.
Speaking of, thank you guys for subscribing and like we've been getting a lot of subscriptions on YouTube, so we appreciate
Yeah.
that.
We
I
love
haven't
you.
kept up on like Spotify and everything else, but YouTube, we've been getting some hits.
Much
and we
love to
appreciate that.
everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's probably the intro that
and-
we're doing. It's fun.
As always, much love to you.
Aww.
You.
Much love to the man,
Of course.
to our fellow
Well,
producer.
CK for getting all them reels up.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
Even on Mother's Day, I'll say.
Yeah.
Even
You
if we
know,
have to put the gun on you. What?
My mother despises me now because of it.
Good.
But, you know, no, I'm just kidding.
Good.
It's a really healthy relationship.
That's
Hey,
welcome to
that's
filmmaking,
showbiz,
bro. I
man.
don't know what to tell you.
I'm just kidding.
You
I'm
want to
doing
be in the
fine
movie.
according
You
to you.
want to be in the
family.
movie.
No, but genuinely, thank you to our producer,
Yeah.
Mr. Eric
Of
CK
course, of
Nunez.
course. All I care about is that you guys enjoy the reels. So if
Yo.
you guys like them, let me know. If you
Clip
guys don't
that.
like them, just let me know. And
Yo.
then I'll fucking pump out even
Get a load of
better
this.
ones for you guys.
Get a load of this guy.
Yeah, you know
This
what?
guy.
I think the internet has been getting a load of them.
I'm trying to think of something hip to say, like he just earned 3 booms or what's that?
Oh,
mean?
gosh.
Oh, yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Now all
I-
our
I'm sorry,
audience-
We need to find the
Imagine.
equivalent of that of
Loop
the
it.
boom to like a cinema thing.
Hey, he gets
you get
5
3 reels or whatever.
He gets 5 clapper boards.
5 clapper boards. There you go.
Have you seen the actual video
Of what?
of what it is? It's like those 2 guys that they're literally like,
it's
I'm
the-
sorry
Oh,
your
yeah, yeah, it's
brother
like a
died.
father-son,
He gets
no?
fucking
Or-
3 big booms. Yeah.
It's like the
What?
father-son duo. Yeah, and then didn't they
That's a
think the
little
guy
too
was
crazy.
dead recently? Like the dad, like they thought he was dead or something. Like genuinely.
Bro, I wouldn't be surprised if the kids were dead. That guy has them on the
Jeez.
leash. It's great. Look at the
I
behind the
think
scenes.
one of
It's
them's
like-
They're
not
gonna
even
be dead
his
for
kid or
sure.
something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
The Rizzler probably. Yeah.
No
Yeah, I
idea.
know the characters. Yeah. Thanks,
yeah,
brain rot.
yeah. No, but
it's-
thank you guys for subscribing, liking the podcast, sharing it. Make sure, if you don't know by now,
Yes.
we're everywhere. We're on every major podcasting platform. So if you listen to Spotify, and Spotify has a video element now too, so check
And who
that
doesn't
out.
have Spotify?
Or Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, I think got absorbed by Spotify.
Yeah, it's
It's Spotify now, no? And then everything else, and YouTube if you want to see these lovely mugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you
By
don't
the-
know,
by the lovely mugs, I mean these.
Now you know.
if you don't know, now you know.
also on our website.
Go on. Go on. Go, friend. That would be your version. If you don't know, now you know, friend.
Friend.
Yeah, man. This is a series we're getting ready to finish, or part of a series, I should say. But
It's
before
really
we get
sad.
in,
We're ending the podcast after.
Believe it or not.
sure are.
Believe it or not, we are on the martini of.
Oh,
Fincher
we
Ooh.
are
podcast.
on the martini
This is
of David
crazy.
Fincher month.
What was
kicking
the
off.
Abbey?
The Abbey was
The Abbey Singer?
Fight Club, right?
No.
No, we started
I think
with.
it was
It was
Gone
Fight-
Girl, no?
We started
No,
with
we
Fight
started
Club.
with Fight Club.
No, the Abbey, the second to last.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
Abby
Gone Girl.
Singer.
Gone Girl.
Great
Gone
episode,
Girl.
terrible film.
Oh,
What is the matter with you?
Anyway, this guy's psychotic. Don't listen.
Yeah, he should be in a David Fincher film. That's how
Speaking
psychotic
of-
he is.
Speaking of people who are psychotic, Nod.
Not to this.
Yeah, not if she's psychotic.
She's not psychotic,
Just say-
Dick.
She said she's insane.
Yeah, to prove a point.
Yeah.
She's
Those are the
not
psychotic-
psychotic.
I'm
She
not
just
gonna
had
lie,
a
dude.
hardship. That's like saying Goodwill Hunting. That's like saying Will is psychotic.
Yeah.
No, he just had a tough childhood, man. That's just.
Everybody with a tough childhood is psychotic, you know?
Thanks,
In
pal.
fact,
I
I
guess
would-
you and I are screwed, guys.
Yeah, dog. I had a really bad one. Dude.
Yeah, no, but we're finishing with David Fincher month. And
that
let me
psychotic?
introduce my fellow co-host, and then we'll get into some shit before we get into the film. Mr. Michael Lalaw offering a cinematography perspective.
Look at that, man. Look at that man.
I love movie.
You also love amazing shirts.
I love.
You really
Hey,
do.
is that a
do.
new shirt?
It does look like a new shirt.
It's not a new shirt.
You should.
Have you ever worn it for the podcast?
Yeah, I have.
Well, fuck us,
but
right?
but it's an Easter egg. Try to find me in a
Exactly.
different
For all our
shirt.
fans out there.
You should do Where's Waldo
We'll
of the
send
Lao
you a
shirt.
free
Yeah.
Just
t-shirt
like,
if you
What,
find
what
what
episode did he wear?
You know what? It's
If you
so-
tell us what episode it was, he will give you the shirt.
With all our signatures. With all our signatures.
This is true.
With
Yeah.
all our signatures.
You know what?
Mr. John Eric Castro. I know how to get your attention now. This is good. Mr. John Eric Castro offering an acting perspective.
Is that a new shirt? Nah.
Dick.
It's actually one of the 5 ones I have.
Starting to turn into Jason.
Is that the new trend? Just men only owning 2 shirts? Like, is that?
I have
mean-
like the same 5 shirts on rotation.
Yeah, and
Kinda.
3 of them are jerseys.
But it's like, it switches, right? Because technically I have 10, but it's like winter and summer. You know, like this is the summer rotation is coming out.
Well, I have like 15 of these. It's just all plain colors.
How many of you guys' underwear have holes in it?
How much time do you have?
Don't ask Austin, bro. Austin will
going
give you
in.
the skinny of all of his.
I finally just replaced all my socks. So.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I need to do that.
Nah, if I find a hole,
I
I'll
have
throw
a
it away.
wife, and she doesn't allow it, man.
Yeah.
She'll replace my shit.
That's fair.
Really? It's not like
This
a
guy's
kink
in
thing?
love.
A kink?
Yeah. Like,
Who has a kink of torn underwear?
where's the hole?
You know what I do have? Is a bunch of socks
Yo,
with
man,
holes
you're
on
chasing
them.
after the wrong hole. I don't know what to tell you.
No, she's doing it. It's like a I Spy, but it's with like a hole.
I
don't
love
know
how
about that
every
one.
episode we learn something new about each other.
I
Called
mean,
who's at the door?
Mr. Eric C.K. Nunez, who was already introduced, making sure you guys get these lovely
FGG
episodes
fucking-
on time
Hell yeah.
and in an efficient way and in a fun way. We're
And-
switching it up.
Keeping us organized for the first
For
time in our
sure,
lives.
man. For sure.
You guys are.
We had a big old podcast meeting last week, and it felt good. Felt good.
He made a PowerPoint.
He did he's made a few PowerPoints for us.
Yeah.
But
What's
finally
that?
got to
Wait,
this one.
wait. What software were you using for the PowerPoint?
PowerPoint.
No, it wasn't PowerPoint. Shut the fuck up.
Canvas.
Canva, maybe? Or
Canva.
Yeah,
Like,
dude, all the shit that I do, I make it out of Canva.
You guys remember
is Canva free? Like,
yes,
what is
Canva's
Canva?
free.
Yeah. And they
'Cause
have like
I
a lot
just-
of templates that you
I
can just
remember
go to.
making PowerPoints using Microsoft PowerPoint in school, and then they'd be like, "That sucks."
Let
and
me.
everybody else used Canva. and I
You
never-
guys remember Prezi?
Yes, I remember Prezi. That's
No.
that's the first
yeah,
time
your
I was.
slideshows sucked if you didn't know what to do.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's
Nerd.
not the PowerPoint.
I'll toss
I'm
this one at you guys.
sorry.
I'll toss for all you filmmakers out there.
Use Prezi.
I use this for work. So like, if you're getting Canva fatigue, which I did because I use the hell out of it, I switched over. If you have an Adobe account, which you should, 'cause
Adobe
you're
Spark?
probably editing on Premiere. Adobe, what is it?
Firefly?
Oh,
No, not Firefly.
shit.
Firefly's cool for AI, but Adobe Express. Adobe Express. It's like it's Adobe's version of Canva, but it uses like Adobe stock footage, Adobe stock images, shit like that, AI generative stuff
Damn.
too.
By the way,
Adobe Express is, in my opinion, way better than Canva.
Kids nowadays edit on CapCut, dude. Get with
Oh,
the
dear
times.
Can you believe that?
Oh,
Jesus
man.
Christ. I cannot believe anybody.
including
uses
that
CapCut
kid for our
anymore.
podcast.
Hey, let's all point it out.
I bought the subscription. All the
That's
reels
funny,
are
but that's how we
AI,
get
man.
these sweet
Fuck.
reels. Okay, that's a perfect example of AI with human moderation. He
Yes.
lets AI do the cutting, and he'll go in there and be like, "This one's good. This one's good." That's it's a tool.
And lately, I've been trying to add like more stills of the movie. And
I've noticed that.
nice.
That's dope.
It's really
Please
nice.
keep
I love
doing
that.
that. I love it. I love it. I know for the Branded to Kill one, I was like, this is fucking dope because you cut to the scene that we're talking about. It's good.
Yes,
I
please.
want more
You
of
know,
that, please.
yes.
I was looking for a GIF. How do you say GIF or GIF?
GIF.
Don't you even
I was looking
dare
for a
say
GIF.
Yeah,
I
don't
was
say
looking for.
mem. Don't say that.
Noni.
Don't say. Did you say? Don't say men.
Mem.
Mem. Okay.
Mem.
I was looking
Meme.
for a meme where
Uh-huh.
you remember the scene where like the lighter flicks up and he points the gun out.
Uh-huh.
Dude,
Yeah.
I was looking for that one, but I couldn't find it. Oh.
Mr. Austin Young, making sure we're sounding good on the ones and twos, editing the episodes,
All the way from Austin.
With the Diablo hat.
offering a producing editing
What's up?
perspective. You see, Rob Schneider was at the game the other day.
He was also at the Abraham Chavez.
Oh yeah,
He was performing there. I tried to get him on the show, by the way.
You
Never-
tried?
Never heard back.
He was hanging out with Drake Campana.
Yeah, I
Dude,
saw
yeah.
that. Drake Bell too had a lowbrow show.
Dude.
It's because he only cares about doing like political podcasts.
I guess.
Yeah, he's into that stuff.
Yeah,
right
I haven't seen that, but yeah, I reached out to his people and never heard back. I reached out like 3 months ago, bro. Like
because you knew it was
I
gonna
didn't
come?
even wait till last minute. Then I reached out again. No luck.
Have you guys heard Drake Bell's cover of La Camisa Negra?
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Dude, that shit
Yeah,
goes
he's
hard.
obsessed, dude. He's so big in Mexico. He has a huge Mexican following.
He went to go live over there, no? For a
Yeah,
while?
like genuinely has a huge following out there. That's why like doing Juanes songs and all these things fucking work for him.
Tengo
He's
la
playing where at the
camisa
Lowbrow?
negra.
He was playing at the Lowbrow that same day that Rob Schneider played.
But I
At
think he
the
was like
Abraham.
still here today, no?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw like FitBam or something post right that he was hanging out. Seems like
Drake
a nice
Bell?
dude. Yeah.
Drake
That's cool.
Campana.
Not for nothing, but like if you're Drake and Josh fans, like I caught that episode
found
where
a
he
way.
was on Josh's podcast. That's pretty intense, man. I mean, it's good.
Yeah, dude. Have you seen the
doc?
dude?
Yeah,
Oh
I saw
my
the
God.
doc. I did. Schneider, right? Dan Schneider.
Yeah,
the
that
whole
dude
thing.
is-
Yeah.
I have
But
to check that.
that was a
You'd love it, Grasser. It's
Yeah, that's
like-
my type of shit.
it's your
true
shit.
crime.
What's
crime.
that channel? IDTV, I think it's
Yeah,
called.
ID
They're
Discovery.
fucking killing,
ID
man.
Discovery.
They're fucking killing.
Wait.
Yeah.
I
is
worked
that
on a show for
Discovery
ID
Plus?
Discovery.
It's investigative discovery
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're
I
like a
didn't know
cable
that was
channel.
thing. Wow.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, they're doing good.
Crazy.
I'm your fellow film servant, Carlos de la Torre, offering a writing directing perspective.
Yes,
I like
he
your
is.
shirt today.
Thank you. This one's kind of new. It says it's weatherproof.
It's salmon.
See, spill
Technically,
something.
I mean,
I don't know how weatherproof. It's hot in here, and I feel it. I don't know
well,
if it's
it
this
only
shirt.
blocks weather from the outside, man.
Exactly.
He said as he drank hot coffee. This isn't like a talk show. I'm not drinking water out of this fucking thing. It's coffee.
Dude.
Pour it out,
Mixed
prove
with
it.
some
Did I just break the
vodka.
glass, shatter the glass or something?
Pour it out, prove it.
Yeah, pour it in your
You
mouth.
see, now you got to pour it.
Yeah,
on
they
your shirt.
record talk shows at 2 PM. So consider your glass shattered. So they're not drinking coffee most of the time.
You know, I found that out when, like, I don't know, late at night, if you go on like ABC, they'll still have Ryan and Kelly, like that whole thing. Well, it's not Ryan and Kelly. I don't know
Dude,
who it.
remember when it was Regis and Kelly?
Regis.
Yeah,
Regis.
yeah.
Regis.
See,
Yeah.
I
He
love
wants
how
to be a
none of us,
millionaire guy.
none of us are like moms, but we all remember it because of our moms. That's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of,
Shout out to Regis.
shout out
and-
to mom.
Shout out to the
Oh,
mom.
yeah.
I mean, this is going to come out in 3 weeks, I think, or
Oh.
2 weeks. So
Yeah, hey,
Shatter the glass.
I don't know
sorry,
how that
we-
matters.
It's always there's always a time to shout out mom.
There is.
Yeah,
There, you're right.
that's
Shout out to the
I like
moms. Shout out to the moms.
Hey, if you squeezed one out, you deserve recognition.
So
I squeezed one out.
Everybody give Castro a hand.
all right. Speaking of Castro, I think he has a bit of a question for us.
You're a bit of a mom.
No, I always like to ask you guys what movies you watched, and I remember I asked him that he watched Sinners, and he gave me an 8.9.
Yeah.
Oh,
I watched it this weekend
Yeah?
with high hopes because he gives it an 8.9.
Yeah.
No, not even
What?
near, brother. What, brother?
Are you
What
just
do you
saying-
give it?
brother.
What do you give it?
Brother,
That's racist.
Dude, no.
I
What
know,
do you
right?
give it?
That's I don't want to
I know, the one time you bust out the brother and it's for sinners.
I'm between 7.9 to 8.
Okay.
Almost giving
Look,
it a B.
You know me. I'll typically give something a lot lower, considerably, right, to cinema. But what I like about Sinners is
Yeah.
it's not as much of an event film as Barbie, Oppenheimer, right?
Okay.
But it's just enough of an event film to get people to the theaters and still have something to say. Like I genuinely
Get Out.
and people, I'm gonna get so much flack, but I compare it to Get Out. To like the commentary it's trying to say, but also just
You know,
bringing
hey,
people in,
yeah.
like bringing people in on the genre film. You know, bringing people in on the genre film. It's a vampire film, right?
Right.
Bringing people in on the genre film and keeping them for like what it has to say.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Would you say that Sinners is basically Get Out mixed with what's that movie?
With-
From Dusk Till Dawn?
Yeah, basically. Yeah, essentially, yeah. But I'm also substantially biased. It's got the blues infused into the storyline. And
That's what catch me for sure.
there's a
Yeah.
fucking Buddy Guy
Dude, I was-
cameo, man. That's perfectly because I was like waiting for it because I knew about it, right? And then we saw Kingfish at
Yeah.
Anton's. Kingfish is in it too, dude.
Oh, that's fucking
Yeah,
sick.
and when we were, I was talking to Sandra, like, we want to go see it, and I was like, how are they going to use this Buddy Guy cameo? I know there's a Buddy Guy cameo,
right.
And the whole film, kind of like,
Waiting for it.
Walking on
and
eggshells.
they perfect fucking Buddy Guy cameo,
Here.
perfect Buddy Guy cameo.
Is he
Minor pause. Ulysses, you've seen Sinners, right?
Oh yes.
Tell us about it.
Honest. You don't have to.
What's your opinion
But
on
Just
Sinners?
if you would
honest
like to-
opinion.
by
Don't
the
go
way,
by the.
Go behind CK.
If you
Go
would
behind
like to be
CK.
on the podcast, please
It's too
join me
late.
in back
He's
here.
already in it.
Yeah. And then here you go. I'll give you my mic.
And don't go by what the reviews are saying that it's the greatest shit ever.
Yeah, don't go by cinema standards.
You.
Pretend you've never watched a movie.
It's the greatest shit ever.
Wow.
Well, if you had to give it a rating
Yeah, you
between
have to
1
get
and
it right.
10,
Let's start there. Yeah.
I don't know. 1 to 10, I would say 8. I like Sinners a lot actually. When I saw
Yeah.
it, my plan was to see it again tonight, but I think my friends flaked. So I don't
dude.
know.
I would see it
Congratulations.
again. I wanted to see it in IMAX because
Yeah,
it's just not playing in El Paso in fucking IMAX. Pisses me off.
it was. I saw it in IMAX, and then I was like, oh, I gotta.
Did you really? Oh
Like
shit,
the
yeah.
next day.
I was
I
like
got
late to the train because I was in Dallas for a week, and I told my brother, "Let's just go. You have 20 fucking IMAX theaters here. Let's just pick one and go." And we didn't go. I was really busy too, but I came back like hell bent. I'm gonna see it on IMAX in El Paso, and it's not screening in IMAX anymore, so it made me sad.
Wow.
Hopefully they re-release it. They are talking about a re-release because of how well it's doing.
Yeah, no, it is
Really?
doing pretty well, and it's pretty good. I just thought it was gonna be an epic.
No,
epic,
I mean,
but it's a good, solid.
It is.
It's solid,
Yeah.
but it's not like Oppenheimer. Like, whoa!
Can I
Even
ask?
everybody go watch
I did
this.
give it an 8.9 because again, compared to standards of cinema that we kind of judge
Exactly.
our films to, it's not there necessarily, but for the times, and I'll be honest with you guys, I'm just gonna toss this out there. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for it. I'm not the biggest Ryan Coogler fan. I don't see the appeal. I like Fruitvale Station. Beyond that,
I
I
didn't like
saw
that
the
one.
direction he was going in, and I was like, okay, he's gonna do the mainstream thing. He's gonna do that for a little while, and then let's see how he kind of pivots back. I think this is his pivot back.
like his low passion kind
Yeah.
of.
Well, I mean, he did what 2 or 3 Black Panthers, and then
I'll
And
tell you
he
this.
did,
I
he
like
did
the way more
Creed
than.
as well.
he did what?
Creed as
Yeah,
well.
that's right. He did Creed. So I mean, it's fine. It's fine. Good for him. I'm not saying he's a bad filmmaker.
No, he's good.
I
He's
just
good.
never saw the appeal as much, right? I didn't. I'll be honest with you guys. And then I saw Sinners, and I was like, all right. That's the same way I felt when like Jordan Peele did Us. Everybody hated Us for whatever reason.
No,
I
whoa,
loved
whoa.
it. I thought it was
loved
terrific.
from the get go.
But everybody was comparing it to Get Out, right? So it was his follow-up. People were like, nah, kind of lame. I thought it was, again, bring them in for the genre picture, keep them for what it's trying to say.
Right.
And that's how I feel about Coogler now. I was like, all right, this kid does have something to say that's not like the same shit over and over and over again.
Well, if he's coming back strong. Apparently,
Yeah.
Sinners broke the record for. There's this scale called Cinema Score.
Yeah.
They broke the record with the first horror to receive an A rating.
Yeah.
In comparison,
Yeah.
Get Out received an A minus, and Hereditary received a D plus on it.
Yeah. Not just that, dude, but
Really?
it's breaking
High
box
praise.
office records too for a
Yeah.
horror.
Left and
For
right.
a horror.
Yeah. So again, all credit to him. Substantially, right, comparatively to like Wong Kar-wai or something. That's not what I'm saying, but I think I give it that 8.9 because that's hard to do right now.
Yeah, then I probably shouldn't have went in with that type of like expectation, I guess.
I didn't go with any expectations other than the fact the only thing that gave it a boost initially is because I knew that it had the blues infused in it.
Right.
Because the entire soundtrack is blues too.
Yeah.
So Kingfish is featured on it. Buddy Guy did a song for it. Like there is genuine blues artists doing the fucking soundtrack.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
Gary.
important to me right now for reasons unbeknownst to anybody right now. But it's important to me as a blues lover, and it's important to someone who wants to see more stories be told about the blues. I think somebody told me recently. Who told me recently? I think it was Francisco. Francisco's like, you need to fucking watch it because you read my new script. So you need to watch it. He's like, that whole notion of making the blues cool again, they're doing that in Sinners. Like, you need to check that out. That whole
Really?
scene, man, like Uli and Gasso, that scene where they're talking about the music, where he's singing in the juke joint for the first time.
Yeah.
That oneer going around to like the ancestors. Oh gosh, dude, that's fucking dope. Like I loved it.
I saw
thought
the
it was
behind the
terrific.
scenes for that one too.
Really?
It was terrific. So
All right.
go watch
All right.
Sinners.
All right.
I think it's substantial. Go watch it in a theater, please. That's
Now-
the big takeaway
It
here.
was
have-
my little gripe. Okay.
I have a controversial question for you guys.
Ask
that?
away.
Which one is better, Sinners or the girl with the dragon tattoo?
No, you can't compare
Yeah,
those
don't do
two.
that to me, bro.
Look,
I'm never
man,
gonna get a fight
you
with
have-
you.
which director is better?
Oh, the other's still in the come up.
That's an unfair question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy's a little bit
Yeah,
more.
but it's Fincher.
I mean, it's Fincher.
Fincher, bro. What's
it's
in the
also
box?
Coogler. I mean,
What's in the box?
No, I'm saying like it's just Fincher. Like, the
God,
Batman.
don't bring up what's in the box.
you heard that guy over there in the black shirt. Look
Is
at
there before we like really deep dive into the film? Is there any other films you guys caught?
I didn't watch one nearly as cool. I watched what are they called? Thunderbolts.
All right, yeah, you told me it was fun, right? Yeah,
But like I was working at the pub the other day and somebody came in and said, "Oh, dude, I watched Thunderbolts." And I'm like, "Oh, is it good?" And he's like, "Oh, it brought me back into wanting to watch superhero films." And I'm like, "Oh, I've been out of it for a while. I'm still suffering with the
yeah.
fatigue of,
Yeah, same.
everything that was made." I said, "Last thing I probably watched was like the Spider-Man." He's like, "I'm the same way. Like
Yeah.
I didn't watch that Black Widow one or any of the other ones. Like I skipped all of it, but I watched this one
Yeah.
recently."
It's different.
And it's really good. Like
I know
it-
somebody who, shout out to Ian, he's like big pop culture
Yeah.
comic book guy. He mentioned that people were upset, or he specifically, and I guess there's a thing online about it, that the whole title change thing, where it's Thunderbolts, but they're calling it the New Avengers. Like
Yeah.
officially, they're calling it the New Avengers.
it has like an
It
asterisk
has
now,
an
right?
asterisk. Yeah.
It's got something in there, right? Like
Yeah, it's got an asterisk because
it's barely being.
the joke being that like I don't think it spoils anything in the movie.
Yeah.
The joke being that it's based off of a a Pee-wee Little League soccer team.
The Thunderbolts.
Yeah, the Thunderbolts.
Okay.
Because
It's
one
such
of them
a
was
cute-
like, "Oh, we need a name for us." He's like, "Oh, let's call ourselves the Thunderbolts," based off of this like Pee-wee Little League. And then later on,
cool.
they're referring to them as the New Avengers.
Yeah. Okay.
So it justifies itself in the movie, and
Yeah.
it doesn't take itself too seriously.
You know what caught me really good when he's like, well, technically I'm the first Captain America for like 2 minutes before I beat the shit.
I haven't seen it, but
bad.
I didn't. I'm wondering where Marvel's gonna go, which direction they're gonna go in, because I mentioned to you guys I think I watched the Deadpool versus Wolverine one.
Yeah.
Where it was
super
just-
fun, didn't take itself seriously, but I haven't felt what you're describing is how I felt the first time I saw Guardians of the Galaxy, which gave this new flair
Oh, okay,
to
yeah.
Marvel,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
So
But it was
maybe that's
also-
the direction they're heading in.
It was also like tying a bow on
Not as much of a
the
punch.
Guardians right now. Like,
is it?
or no, I said like that movie, Guardians 3,
Oh.
kind of tied its own little bow. This one, it's new characters, new story. So I feel like it's got something to say, something to
Yeah.
explore comparatively to like the last times that we're like, oh, okay, we've already gotten like all these intertwined stories and all that. It just,
Yeah.
nothing to give me there. Like this one felt like a Marvel's version of Suicide Squad.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I think the problematic thing with Marvel, and they set themselves up for it, and I guess it wasn't their fault to an extent, but how they manage their contracts ends up dictating what films they make. So like Downey, for instance, that's why you had to close that chapter of Downey, because his contract was inspiring on how many Marvel pictures he was making.
Yeah.
That's why you see Thor in fucking everything. Because Thor, like, Chris Hemsworth got a bad deal, man. I think he did like an 8-picture deal with Marvel that he hasn't fulfilled. So you'll still see him in like Guardians 3 or like all these other films, like, because he hasn't fulfilled his contract.
Really?
Yeah. It's genuinely how they've been managing their contracts. Like, I have a feeling that's why Chris Evans is in Wolverine Deadpool.
Just so he
It's
can kinda,
fun.
Like, finish
How-
off the
how
It's
is
a
contract.
he?
great cameo. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's just so he can check off that box.
Are
And it's
there
also
any?
pretty. And it's also pretty smart because kind of like that 50 Cent, like make them a couple of shows at
Yeah.
the beginning, make them big. And
Yeah.
while he's still big.
Yeah.
Let's use them for another project.
Yeah,
while
that's
he's-
true.
That's kind of smart.
Yeah.
Are there any for you, Delo? Are there any casting decisions here since you saw the movie that you didn't like really agree with?
Well, both of
I
you
feel
saw it,
like-
right?
And this one,
Oh, both of you guys saw it. Yeah,
Both of you saw Thunderbolts, right?
No, they're
No,
all pretty good,
everything was
man.
really solid.
I really
ev-
like the
everything
Russian Captain America,
Oh yeah,
The guy
I
from
forgot.
Stranger
Yeah,
Things.
the red soldier or something like that.
the Red Soldier.
Yeah, I thought it was like soldier or something, but I thought all of them were fun.
Yeah, they're all great.
All of them were fun. They all have their own little flair to it. It was really balanced.
Am I wrong to suspect that
It's a fun movie.
David, what's his name, the actor David?
The guy from
Stranger Things guy.
right? Yeah.
David O. Russell.
No, not David O. Russell.
was like an H.
I heard a story about that man recently, dude. Like that dude's a violent dude.
Really?
Yeah.
The
He,
guy
like-
from Stranger Things.
Yeah, he got in a
Oh,
serious
yeah,
fight
yeah.
with David Fincher and shit like that.
What?
Yeah.
But wait, the guy from Stranger
guy
Things.
No, the
No,
director,
oh, okay,
the
okay, no,
director
no.
of,
I heard
of
a
like
thing
I
from
Heart
him.
Huckabees and shit like that.
Yeah.
Google this. Like, there's a whole thing about David O. Russell being a fucking
You
petty.
see the clip of him with Lily Tomlin?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He like tears her a new asshole, man, on the
What?
set of what's that? Was it
Might have been Huckabee.
American Hustle too? He got on the chick's case. What's her name? Anyways,
Keep in mind, look at his filmography, bro.
I know, but no,
is
this
the same
dude's
dude.
like has a reputation for being an asshole, dude. I would have never thunk it.
The Fighter.
Damn. The Fighter, Silver Linings Playbook, American Hustle.
Yeah, I love Silver Linings Playbook. That's probably
still
my
haven't
favorite. I Heart Huckabees is really good too.
Dude, American
I haven't
Hustle
cut that
goes
one.
fucking hard.
It's got Jason Schwartzman in it. It's really good.
Ooh,
I Heart Huckabees. You would love it. It's really good.
really?
Anyways, am I wrong to assume that this dude from Thunderbolts
Yeah.
did they put too much money on him in terms of
No.
where his career
No.
was gonna go? Because after Hellboy, dude,
Because Hellboy was kind of like a cult classic that they kind of took it into a different direction. Even the main
Yeah.
guy that played it was like, "Yo, I didn't even get." So
Well-
I don't know. I don't know about that one.
I'm just wondering because obviously, right, Stranger Things, a couple of the other films he was doing, and then Hellboy kind of just plummeted him, and then
Yeah.
Thunderbolts is kind of like bringing
But I
him
mean, a
back.
lot of actors have those kind of like,
Yeah.
but they still have
No,
a
but
couple.
I feel like for Thunderbolt, it is a role that you can see. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing this guy more
he
often.
kind
you
of
know?
carries it almost in a way. He's not the
Yeah.
protagonist, but he
I
kind of
liked
carries
them
it.
in Black Widow. Like I liked that. That's why I'm curious to see it. I liked that ensemble. It was
Yeah.
fun.
No, and I feel like a lot of those elements come back. You know.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I
fair
also,
to say. David Harbour.
I
by
also
the way.
haven't
David
seen Black
Harbour.
Widow.
See, I knew it was with an H.
Oh, I mean, I liked it. It had some heart to it too. Like Florence Pugh and Scarlett Johansson's characters, they got an arc.
I'm willing to go back and like
Yeah.
watch some. Yeah.
Before we go into this one, let me rant about another one I watched. Accountant 2.
Oh, how is it?
I can't take somebody that's autistic. Like, that's fine. But No.
This-
I
All right.
have a cousin that's autistic. So no.
Oh, okay. So you're the ambassador now. Okay. Cool.
I'm talking about for everybody. No. He just doesn't, like, Ben Affleck can't pull it, man. He can't pull the autistic, smart.
Is that what that
awkward-
character is? I haven't even seen the first one,
Yes,
so
and
I
it's
don't know.
annoying. It's so annoying.
I did see Johnny
I can't believe they made a
Bernthal,
second one.
like Johnny Bernthal's like interviews about like promoting it.
He's cool. He's actually
He
awesome.
doesn't seem like he's that excited about it.
It's just
Really?
it's annoying. You're seeing it and
Yeah.
you're just like, okay, we get it. You're awkward. Just don't be
Yeah.
stupid. Don't be
Yeah.
like.
I don't like that. I
Yeah.
hate the mental image of like a Castro being in the theater and then screaming out, "You want to see real autism?"
Let me call my cousin.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay, I'll throw you another
that
one.
was
You're right.
that.
You'll
that-
throw an
Don't go
autistic
watch
one?
that one. It is
No.
annoying.
We saw that Anna Kendrick film. Like she directed it, Woman of the Hour.
Oh, on Netflix.
It's pretty decent.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
actually pretty decent
It's
director.
based
It's
on-
based on like a true
It's a
series.
true
Yeah,
story.
yeah, it was pretty intense. Like Sandra, my wife, she almost cried through it. Like the end of
Really?
it, it's really intense,
Es que para-
especially
para-
for women.
ajá, para
Especially,
mujer.
it's pretty
Oh wait,
heavy.
it's that girl.
And it's her first, right?
It's her for directorial debut. Yeah, it's pretty.
Hers?
It was pretty damn good,
Anna
man.
Kendrick,
Yeah,
yeah.
Anna
It's
Kendrick.
She started and directed it.
Yeah, I watched that one. That was a good watch. It's a pretty good watch. It's pretty unique in terms of. It's also like us. It's about a struggling actress who's thinking
Oh.
about leaving LA and then gets a game show, and that
Oh,
like
okay.
helps her pay the bills and decide if she wants to stick around or not.
And then he meets this
And then there's a whole thing, yeah, like a commentary on the types of
Really?
dudes that are in LA.
Oh, it has
and-
Pete Holmes.
at the time. Yeah, Pete Holmes is like a love
seen-
interest, believe it
Oh,
or not.
really?
A
I
piece
haven't
of
seen-
shit love interest, but
Oh
love
my
interest
God.
nonetheless. Yeah, he's kind of the asshole in this one. It's interesting. But
The,
yeah, that
the
one's pretty
serial
good. The one
killer.
that impressed me was Autumn Best. Autumn Best was terrific, man. She was really good in this.
Damn, how you doing?
Jeez, I think she's 13, Castro. Oh my god! I'm kidding.
Oh
but
my
she does
God,
look
bro, I was
young.
gonna tell you, no.
I'm kidding, but I think
Cut
she
it.
is. How old is she?
canceled, dude. You're
She
canceled.
does look young. She does look really young.
Please, Austin, don't get me canceled.
It's
We
okay.
gotta
The
find
reels
her
will.
Just
I
find
don't know
her
how
birthday
she
real
is.
quick.
Just Google it. I'm sure it'll come up. But yeah, I don't know how
Yeah.
she is. But she played like a 15-year-old in the film.
She's 22.
Yeah. She told me she was 22. Oh,
She's 22. She's 22.
Yeah, no,
hey,
but she
was
she
born in
played like a
2002.
14, 15-year-old in the film.
A fun fact about her: she was not alive during 9/11.
You're right.
that's fun and factual.
You know what?
Fun and
This is a
scary.
good bridge.
Man.
Let's transition into the film we're going to talk about today
Yes.
before we get ourselves into further trouble.
Shout out to my girlfriend who was born before 9/11.
Yeah.
To finish, a
Hopefully-
shout out to CK who was barely born before
Dude,
9/11.
I
Oh,
was
dude.
1.5 getting breastfed when the towers fell.
I was getting bro-
At 1.5, you too big for.
He was
no, I was 1.5 months.
he was switching.
Oh, I thought
Oh,
1
man.
year and a half.
He was
I like,
switching
damn,
from he was
what?
switching from left to right when the second one hit. That's
He's like the
No,
kid from
I-
Grown Ups, and they're like, "How old is he? 48 months."
Uli's like, what the fuck am I doing here? What the fuck
no,
is going on?
I
right
love
now?"
that he just kind of showed up and then it's like, wait, I thought they talk film. What's going on?
To close out our
Oh,
David
also-
Fincher series, we
Wait.
just cut what?
We never introduced Uli.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we did.
No.
I mean, not officially.
Yeah, but
All
like,
right,
what
then
the fuck?
introduce him. Go ahead.
Hey,
Only can you stand
audience,
up? Yeah, just say, Doug. Just introduce yourself.
introducing for the first time ever, maybe last time ever,
After listening to us
Otro
talk so
Limon.
much shit.
Oh, damn. You can't hear it, but there's major air horns.
They can't hear this?
No, he can't.
Oh.
Well, I can hear you.
Awesome, yeah. No, it's because Austin's throwing in like all the sound effects. It's a very,
popping off right
it's
now.
a very hip
We got
Podcast.
Ulises in the house.
Otro Limon
Otro Limon.
Productions.
Yeah, man, plug
Lemon
yourself.
Tree.
Shout out
Lemon
to
Tree,
his
Lemon
next
Tree.
production
Yeah,
that is
plug 'em,
already
plug
in
'em.
post-production, which is Carpe Republic, another
Yeah.
comedy coming straight out of El Paso.
Look, the only
This
thing
guy's
I
a
can tell
comedy
you guys
visionary.
is be on the lookout, especially those of you in El Paso. Go to El Paso Film Festival this year, and you might catch some shit. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yes.
That's all I'm gonna toss out there.
Yes, sir.
That's for Uli, but for a few people. So check that
The
out.
last couple of years been on this year.
Bitch, what do you mean? I sit on the
saw
board
it
now,
today, I was like,
asshole.
I'm gonna say
I
it, I'm gonna.
I sit on the board. You're right. I didn't sit on the board the past couple of years. That's
Yeah.
a good point. No, anyways, yeah, welcome, Uli. Hang out as long as you want. I know he's here doing post for his film in another room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
You're just part
chilling.
of this now.
We're
I'm
chilling.
sorry, man.
You're part of this episode now, man.
Tough shit. To close out our David Fincher series, we're going to talk about The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, 2011. Woo! This one's going to be interesting. I wondered why Castro kind of chose to end with this. And I got to be honest, I had never seen it.
Well, don't wonder too
I
much.
screened
'cause
it. I screened it yesterday, and then kind of screened it again today. And I was telling these guys, we were on Discord last night, and I was telling these guys, like, personally, this is like my number 3 Fincher film.
Really?
I enjoyed it a lot. I think these characters are a lot more layered than people give them credit for. And granted, the story has a lot to do with that too, kind of jumping between times and
Yeah, that's.
and that's good. It's the breadcrumbs, right? And I think by this time, mind you, this is the film he did immediately after Social Network. So he was very seasoned as a storyteller for doing something like this, and I see it. So this is like my number 3.
I feel like this
Fincher.
is kind of like a
You don't think it kind of. My bad.
like a similar perspective throughout a lot of us, where we know about the girl with the dragon tattoo, but not everybody knows what it's about. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, that's fair. I mean, unless you're deep
Into
into the
his
novel,
filmography.
it's based on a novel, and that novel already had a pretty huge following. It's a trilogy actually, and then they made a Swedish adaptation of this,
Yeah.
and they actually made the 3 films.
I caught up a little bit of that
The
one.
American version, Fincher's version, bombed so bad they scrapped the other 2. They were actually going to make the.
Wow.
I thought they were
Yeah,
the
they
second
released
one
the
already.
second one. I think the third one was.
There technically is The Girl with the Spider or something like
The
that.
Fire.
They made it in 2018. That one bombed also, and Fincher had nothing to do with it.
It's because, like I was saying, I think this one's a little too Fincher because, like you said, he just finished The Social Network.
Yeah.
So I think it just spilled over to this one where it's like a little.
Like big IP project.
Yeah. Like, I like the whole, different character and complexity of each one.
Yeah.
But I think this one was just a little bit way too much.
Yeah, I guess I
For
just
my
felt,
first watch, I guess. I have to see it again.
I guess I just felt like this is where, in my opinion, this is where I really see the growth. And I remember CK
Really?
telling me when we're because I hadn't seen Zodiac before either, and I saw it, or we saw it for the podcast, and I liked it. And it was just like, okay, I see the hints. And then you get, my favorite, Social Network. It will always be my favorite fucking Fincher film.
It's up there.
This one's my 3rd or 4th, man. It
Dude.
competes with Mank, but
Really?
I guess I start. Yes, dude, I fucking love Mank.
What?
But it starts, to me, this is where you see real growth in Fincher. Like, even on a big IP property, it's 2 hours and 40 minutes.
I
this
agree.
thing.
This is the most
And-
Fincher that you could get.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah.
guys are
That's what
saying.
I'm saying. Like, it has Fincher all over it, but I just think, I know.
And just in terms of scale, man, like being able to utilize, oh gosh, Gus, you're going to kill me with this fucking thick guy. 160 days to make this fucking
Bro,
film,
it
dude.
could have been
Jeez.
170 days for all I care.
160 fucking
And it
days.
took that long to make a masterpiece.
Well, it took that long because they shot on location and it snowed and rained and they were encountering that's genuinely what happened.
Really?
Really?
160 days too long?
They shot in Stockholm.
That's it.
That's it.
They shot in Stockholm and they genuinely, there was like weather conditions. It was one of the coldest winters recorded in Sweden in like the past 20 years when
It's
they
a
made
very
this picture.
Fincher thing to happen.
Yeah, I guess
That's
so.
why I like Fincher. I
They're
like
about
being
to solve the
on-
case, and then it's
on
And
location.
then it snows, yeah. But not to mention, this fucker was also taking a lot of risks, like genuinely creating, to my knowledge, one of the biggest rain contraptions to cover like 2 blocks.
All his
For
films have it,
27
bro.
seconds of the film or some shit
It's
like
needed
that.
to.
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
He's on a
Have you
tour,
heard
bro.
for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Tarantino shut down one of the most busiest freeways on Hollywood.
Oh yeah,
Just for
Just
and
for
then
the-
Chazelle, same exact
Yeah.
thing for La La Land.
Damn.
But Chazelle shut down an off ramp for
The
2
manpower.
days.
Hey, whoa, but that off ramp is used.
Yeah, it's used, but
and
he
abused.
used one of like the slower on ramps. Like, but to
What
your
did you get away
credit,
with
like
that?
Tarantino also fucking shut down Hollywood Boulevard for the better part of a month. Okay, so like,
Just fucking.
he didn't give a fuck. By the way, Austin, you guys should check this out too. There's Austin kept bugging me to watch it because I can only take so much Tarantino. And what I mean by that is I can only take so much Tarantino talking.
Put the comments, put the hate.
And
just comment away.
I'm currently in pieces watching the Joe Rogan, Tarantino, Avery.
It's actually pretty good. Eh?
It's pretty good.
You get into
But again, Austin's like, no, dude, watch it. Like, because what Avery offers is actually like pretty good. Like, it's not all Tarantino talking shit.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, so
Who's Avery?
his writing partner, Roger Avery. I think it's Roger Avery.
Shit.
He co-wrote Reservoir Dogs, and I think he has co-writing credit for Pulp Fiction too and shit like that.
Oh wow.
Oh no, I saw the this is a new one or what?
No, it's a few months old, but it's good, man. It's 3 hours of them just talking film, and like those two like met in the video store that Tarantino was working at. That's where they
Oh, so
met
they go
and
that
became
kinda
like
back.
they go back and they're like producing partners and writing partners and shit like that.
I saw the
But
Two Bears one came
he
down
was the
pretty
guy,
insightful.
yeah, like he was a writer on Reservoir and Pulp Fiction, and then he started directing his own stuff. But him and Tarantino are still super close, and they have a podcast together now called Video Archives, which was the name of the store they used to work at.
Tarantino's in
pretty
talking
cool.
away.
Yeah, Tarantino has a podcast, but what's crazy about it is if you see it, like they have a video of it too. This crazy motherfucker, bought the video store that they used to work at, and they like
That's awesome.
They don't film it there. What they did is they bought it, got all the inventory, put it in Tarantino's basement, like recreated the store in Tarantino's basement, and then they shoot the podcast in Tarantino's basement. That's a cool little
That's
thing.
what you do when you have a lot of money, bro.
Yeah, but
He-
anyways,
shit like
He already
just
has
for
like 2 or 3 movie theaters in LA.
Yeah,
He's got
the New
Vista,
Beverly
the
and-
New Beverly. Fucking
yeah, man, Tarantino's championship again.
So do you like him or not?
I like him a lot more now than when like, especially on the filmmaking front. But I can only take so much of him, man, because he's Tarantino. He's I don't know.
yeah,
That's just
I
cool.
feel you. He's
That's
a
just me.
personality.
He's a
for sure.
cool director.
He's like, no, he's not just
so-
cool, but he like
He's a lot.
he's a lot.
It's okay to call him an
He's very
asshole.
intense.
Should we get into ratings for Girl with a Dragon Tattoo?
I thought you were gonna say for Tarantino. I was gonna
I
rate
feel
him
like-
like a 6.
I'll start with mine and then we'll go with Eric.
All right.
For my first watch, and it's a Fincher film, I'll give it an 8.2, man. I don't know if I'm a
Okay.
little disappointed in it. I like the characters, just the story.
Yeah.
I want to hear you guys out. The story, I was kind of like, where's it going? How's it going? But I'll give it a strong 8.2
Nice.
for
Okay.
right now.
Okay.
Okay.
I gotta give it a solid 8.7 because it was simple
Yeah.
on specific moments. It was simple when it needed to be simple, but it was also kind of like it broke the rules when it needed to as
Yeah.
well. So
Right,
it was
right.
pretty cool.
If you had to give this a rating, Yuli,
Ulises.
I only saw like the last like half.
Oh, so you never seen the
But
whole
you
thing?
said you had seen it before.
But I saw it like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
No,
that's
yeah,
still an opinion.
No, but I feel you. It's a different
Yeah,
watch
yeah.
from back
Yeah,
then.
you were like, what? What were
I
you?
thought, I mean, from like going into it, having not remembered anything from it, like, and just seeing that that one really tense scene, and I forgot the context of it completely.
Yeah.
I was still tense. So
how do you feel about Fincher in general?
I like Fincher.
Yeah.
I think I disagree with you on Mank. I might
Oh, yeah?
want to die on that one, but like.
Yeah, he also
See,
disagrees.
that's why
with
that's my
Brutalist.
dog right there. Ulises, that's my dog. We connect. We connect.
But
I don't know how
but-
much,
Zodiac is a
according to the
banger.
law, I don't know how much credibility to give you when he says you also felt the same way about the Brutalist. I don't know about that, Playboy. That's
Hey,
We're
man,
still
you-
beefing.
I did hate the brutal.
oh,
You stick to your ground, bro. You stick
Yeah.
to it, man.
Yuli, we talked on the radio show just really quick because you're on a Cinephile podcast, so why not? It literally
Cake
threw
Cup.
me. It literally threw me when you told me, and it was refreshing, and I mentioned that on the radio show. Tell everybody what your favorite film is, with the film that got you into film.
Oh,
My favorite film,
yeah.
You mentioned this, and it threw me because I wouldn't.
Well, you kind of mentioned one right now, too.
Midnight,
so-
Midnight Cowboy.
yeah.
No, there was another one. There was like a more
This is
Contemporary.
This is the end.
This is the end. Is hysterical.
This
I
is
love
the
it,
end.
man.
The
Yes, the Seth
Jonah
Rogen,
Hill.
Michael.
Sarah one.
Whoa!
Yeah,
He
'cause-
said Rihanna slaps Michael Cera and he passed out like after the time.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what got you into it?
Dude,
It's
that
wanting
was
to make film and
fire.
shit.
You kidding me? I love
You know what?
I
mean,
love it, by the way. I'm not trying to bash it. It just threw me like you don't hear it because we're all pretentious filmmakers, man. Everybody wants to be the guy. Like the expected answer is Midnight Cowboy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
No, don't get me wrong. I get pretentious. Don't get it twisted. get
Yeah.
it twisted and pretentious.
So this
but
is
I
the
do
end.
love This Is the
Wow.
End. And the movie before that was Diary of a Wimpy Kid. That's the movie that
Oh
got
no,
me.
yeah,
That's
good.
the other one that
That's
threw me.
good. No,
That's what I'm saying.
That's good. That's fine. But this is the
I
end.
think, you know
Perfect
what?
casting. Perfect.
I'll say this.
Didn't the kid like commit suicide or some shit recently?
What the
Oh
fuck?
no, he got-
One of the main
he got in
characters.
trouble.
He got in trouble?
Yeah, he got in trouble.
Jamie, pull it up.
Okay. Yeah, no, the main kid like got into some shit. Like drug problems,
No,
right?
but I'll tell you
Really?
what, and this is the end. I really do love. I think it's like a wonder when they're going into the store.
Yeah.
Oh, it's great.
I really like that. I was like, whoa, this is
That
not,
whole film is great, man.
not your typical.
And if you haven't
comedy
watched
guy.
the
How
studio,
hard that movie goes just cinematically, like
yeah.
Yeah, I like really like them. Don't
And
stood out.
if you haven't watched the studio, by the way, it's almost like a spiritual sequel to This Is the End.
Oh shit!
It's a like it covers more. It's more grounded, right? But it's super fun, man. It's super
Still
fun,
a bunch of like
and it's the same directors. It's
Prima
Seth and
donnas.
Evan doing their thing on the series, which is fun.
That
Nice.
magazine scene, and this is the end.
wait, hold on. So
I'll come wherever I want.
who even uses magazines? anymore?
walked away too much.
Do you guys know about that? This is the last thing I'll say before we bring it back to Fincher. But
Yeah.
do you guys see that fucking Danny McBride fell into acting? He never even wanted to act.
How did
He
fall
just
into
like
it?
fell back into it. Like he went to film school to be a writer. Like he always wanted to be a writer with his writing partner.
I never
like
knew his story. I never looked it up.
and I think he's from North Carolina. And I know that now because he literally moved his whole production company from LA to North Carolina because of the film incentives. And they do that, the Righteous Wonderstones or Gemstones or whatever.
Gemstones.
He does that show in North Carolina entirely.
It's a good show. It's
And-
it's hilarious.
What?
It's from Georgia.
Georgia? I forget, but I think it's
Statesboro.
North Carolina. Yeah, University of North Carolina.
To UNC.
They moved the show over there because LA was getting expensive to shoot in.
Yeah, yeah.
So my
Wow.
point with Danny McBride though is like he was just like, yeah, I was just doing buddies favors in college, and it was just like I had one credit to my name that was like viable, like whatever his first thing was, and people were like, hey, you were in that, so can we use you in your film? And they just snowballed into him acting. But he always just wanted to be more of a writer director. That was always his goal. He
Really?
I mean, I'll get it
kind of
anyway,
just fell
man.
back into acting. So
That
the
happens to me, I'm
jizz
good with
scene, the genius of the jizz scene, just randomly he decided to be an actor. So it's pretty cool.
Did you
Anyway.
guys see he's in Superbad as like one of the background?
Yeah,
characters
dude,
getting
he's just
fucked up?
partying
Yeah.
in the period
He
scene.
is?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was All the Real Girls, by the way. That's the film where he's like he plays a dramatic role.
Oh really?
And
That
did
is
decent,
sick.
and people know him and shit. And then he's like, "Oh, hey, can we use you?" Yeah, look, fucking Danny McBride and Superbad.
What?
Oh yeah, I do remember him. What is that? Is
Just
that blood?
cash.
Is that blood?
Yeah,
Is that blood, dude? What the fuck?
Were you dancing with some girl?
dude, it is blood. Anyways,
let me take
so
a picture.
that's fair. Uli, your position on This Is the End and The Brutalist.
And Mank.
I don't know about
I
that.
agree with
dude.
you on Mank. I agree with you.
Bro, ever since it came out, we have not heard of it.
On why Mank is so
Just-
high. Because like Fincher has so many bangers, and for Mank to be like up there for you, I'm like, wow.
That's how I felt.
Exactly.
That's how I felt about like The Killer, which was his
I
newest
haven't
film.
seen The Killer, but I feel like I would probably feel the same way.
Is
Yeah.
It's
but
alright.
Mank had
It's alright.
something to say, and then like his dad wrote the screenplay out of all fucking people.
I couldn't get into it after
Me
like
neither.
10
Oh,
minutes.
dude,
I had
like-
to change it. It was,
These are
No,
my
I
people.
know.
over here, bro.
Have you
I like
guys
the
seen
story of the
Citizen
making of
Kane?
Citizen Kane. I think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I watched the movie. I'm like, okay.
You didn't feel good about Citizen Kane?
Oh, that's Austin's big movie.
Mank.
Oh,
Citizen
yeah.
Kane I like.
Okay.
I love Orson Welles.
Yeah.
Citizen Kane does go hard.
I
That
just
was really
think
hard, man.
the
25,
politics
dude,
of
25.
Citizen Kane and then like Gary Oldman. I don't know. I loved Mank. I thought it was terrific. But
I feel like I got to rewatch it, but I remember
Yeah.
feeling the charm of like seeing Fincher getting away from the thriller
Yeah.
concept
Okay.
and like trying to explore these character pieces because,
Yeah.
and I'll loop it back
Yeah.
into this.
Yeah, nice.
I, I feel like seeing Fincher when he just wants to focus on a character being
Yeah.
layered as opposed to
Yes.
focusing on a plot-driven film. It's really interesting, and it's cool to see his take on it all because you can see that he really knows how to bring out the most of a character on the screen.
I think that's why I like something like this
Yeah.
more than a Fight Club or whatever. This
Yeah.
is I'm starting to give a lot more respect to filmmakers who can do both. Who can genuinely make
Absolutely.
a plot heavy, the same thing that Fincher's gonna always do, but to have characters that are genuinely layered. And mind you, this also is accredited to the book, and Steve Zalian wrote this fucking script. Steve Zalian's a master screenwriter. He's
Yeah,
terrific.
but the main guy,
Well,
David Fincher.
I mean,
put it all together.
giving credit where credit's due. I mean, with the book, like
Yeah.
with any story, it could be shot in a million different ways and
Right.
it could capture a lot of different moments. But the way that Fincher captures these scenes with like there's tension between the two of them, and then also the intercutting and the way that all that emotion comes forward when they're both in the same room.
And this one in the Academy Award for editing, right? If I'm not mistaken, like back to back, Social Network and this one, Fincher's editor like won 2 Oscars back to back. If I'm not mistaken.
Fincher's editor has a dog in him. Yeah, look, winner, best achievement in film editing.
Yeah.
Best performance was nominated. For
I think it's the
Rooney
only one
Mara.
it won was editing.
Yeah,
But
it was nominated
the
for
same-
cinematography.
I mean,
as
still to
well.
be
The
nominated.
same
I can see
editor
that.
won for Social Network.
Dude, that one scene where it was the one where like the guy pulls out the gun when Daniel Craig is inside of the kitchen, and then he's like that whole entire scene felt almost
That whole
exactly
sequence
like Jake
between
Gyllenhaal.
that and Rooney Mara's characters parts, right?
Yeah. That whole moment, it felt like in Zodiac when the guy is like, "I do these posters myself."
Yeah, he's in the basement.
Yes.
Wow, that is true.
Like, it was
I gotta
like,
get the
dude,
fuck outta here.
this is Fincher.
Yeah.
This is.
I'll toss this out there.
Nice.
I the only thing that bugged me about, and this is part of like the Finchering all over the place. The only thing that bugged me about this one is I haven't. I understand the thriller aspect of it. Maybe you can enlighten me on the cinematography, because though the
That means you
cinematography
can help
was
me out.
the cinematography was terrific. I said he's gonna teach me, bro. I mean, it doesn't have to mean he likes it or hates it.
He just wants
You
to
wanna
tag
give
team
your
partner
rating?
in this one.
What?
Do you want to give your rating before you go into this?
You have to give yours first.
I really can't give one. I missed probably like half the film.
What?
That's kind of.
I got busy with the
Oh yeah, that's
With
right.
client
That's
stuff.
right. That's
He
right.
got busy with.
I
that.
mean,
with client stuff.
Okay, fine. Just give your rating based on the editing you did. So
And
you
how
saw
much you
more
love
than
me.
half the picture.
and how much you love me.
2.
Probably like at a 8.
Okay.
You're gonna say 6.
Rapid fire.
I'll give it an 8.3. I'll give it an 8.3. I think again, this is like my 3rd or 4th. I put it right up there with Mank for me. But it's like for me, it's Social Network, Gone Girl, then either this or Mank. They're kind of a toss up between those two.
I'll probably go like an 8-1 with room to go up.
Yeah.
I can see so much of his style come out here, and I mean,
Yeah.
I love that this month we've been able to do a retrospective, because seeing earlier works and seeing this, it's like a Fight Club I enjoyed, but this almost feels like if the style matured.
Yeah.
Like the style went from like I'm trying to be cool to I'm trying to have substance.
I'm trying to use all the components to
My
tell.
bad. Before now, is it a bad thing if I still want to do something more like a Fight Club than this?
No, that's not bad at all,
No,
because
right?
I mean, those are different. Like, they're different moments in their filmography, but it's also its own style.
Yeah,
Like,
I think that's the key word. It's highly stylized. Like Fight Club, the only way, and I guess I'm just in coloring mode right now, but the only way I can put it is it feels like Fight Club, the saturation is at 100. And then as his career progressed, he's just toning down the saturation and not leaning so heavily on the highly stylized elements, highly stylized cinematography, highly stylized like coloring and lighting. Like almost getting rid of some of that neon to just tell. Like this felt properly cold.
Yeah,
right.
I
in its,
see what
in
you're
its
saying
visual
now.
kind of storytelling. Again, the only thing
Yeah.
that bugs me, and you
Yeah.
tell me, you get those Fincher moments visually when you see the fucking green come out.
Dude, I fucking love that.
Oh
love that.
gosh,
Oh
it
my
makes
God,
me.
I love
No,
that.
there was no point to
are you
greenish
talking
yellow.
about
the palette of the green and yellow?
The
oh my-
yellow, yeah.
Oh, dude, it's the
are you
tone
talking
of-
about like the
Like when they're in
inside
their
of an
apartments,
apartment? Yeah,
yeah.
I know exactly what you're talking
It
about.
bugs the
And
hell
it
out
makes
of
it
me.
feel
Yeah, I
like
gotta
grimy.
stop.
Other than
Like,
like
gross,
Fincher
like-
being like, this is my thing.
No.
I don't see
And
the
I
fucking
mean,
point.
I didn't see a lot of that in Zodiac.
No, or Gone Girl.
Yeah, no, because I feel like in
Zodiac
those
Zodiac
ones,
was pushed to fuck on that.
Zodiac had a lot.
I would say
There's
Gone
like a
Girl
lot
and
of,
this
like,
one
orange
has
specific-
way
No,
less of it.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah,
like
yeah,
there
yeah.
was a better balance, because I just remember when we got to Gone Girl, like again
and
that
Social Network.
saturation.
Like the Social Network doesn't have that much of
Nah,
that.
wait, I didn't
Yeah,
even.
it does.
Can you show
Social
me the
Network,
opening
yeah.
still of Social Network again?
Social
Like,
Network does
yeah,
have
that opening wide, because I just know that he uses it all the time.
Yes.
Plus,
It bugs me,
the
dude. I
stories-
just don't see how motivated it
The
is.
stories that you told as well are more grounded in reality, like Social Network.
style.
no, but
Look at this
They're-
shit.
to me, it's meant to be this high contrast lighting that's meant to add grime and grit to everything.
is. It
Because
is.
every time I've noticed that color pop up into a scene, at least in the mise en scène, we're using big words, you'll see a stain on the ceiling or something's dirty. And it's almost like when they use those lights to, really detect if there's
Yeah.
like grime and all that.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what the color's trying to do. It's trying to say, what are palettes? Yeah, it's this color.
This isn't as
look at
intense
that.
though.
No,
this,
no,
This
but
is
it's the
more
same-
motivated for like the
But-
natural lighting of coming out from the bar inside to this.
No, but I'll say this because this could been lit a million different ways.
Hold on.
And it could be, yeah.
Hold
They
that thought.
cross-keyed it, right?
Just because of this, this is the first 10 minutes. You see it in Andrew Garfield's apartment when he's fighting with the girl.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's where you see it.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know how motivated it is. Sure, it's grime and it's grit and it
No,
creates
but
this
what
sense
I was
of...
going to say is that I feel like he's using this color and its high contrast characteristic
Yeah.
to add a sense of realism to it all, because I feel like it's a very grounding thing. I know
Realism
that
to what though? Realism to living in the
situation.
dingy
Yeah,
apartment
yeah.
building.
Yeah.
I feel like
I don't know, man.
every time I see it,
It's like the Matrix as well. You know,
Exactly.
like- but that's exactly the point. Is like he's using the Matrix as a reference point into
Yeah.
this green, gritty hacker
Yeah.
kind of world.
I
which is-
just when you tell me that
Very
you're
well put.
using this for realism, I don't believe it because not every fucking apartment looks like this.
but
It just doesn't.
But
Also,
it's
some-
not. It's
some
not so much
apartments
like
it's not so.
it's not the color. It's what it's doing, which I think is doing this
It's meant
high
to-
contrast.
But it's meant to give you some kind of emotional beat.
Yeah, it's
No,
What's the
it's-
emotional
it's-
beat?
No, it's trying to put you in this in this setting.
it's grimy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel
What's
like
grimy about fighting with your fucking girlfriend?
What do you
Everything.
mean? You just said it.
Fuck off.
You just said
No.
it.
no,
I'm
no,
sorry.
no, no,
It gets
no.
grimy when you fight with them.
It could be an emotional grime. You've never had emotional grime?
Yeah,
It just feels like he's jerking off into the lens. That's what it feels
bro.
like.
That's
No,
how
I-
Wes Anderson does shit too, bro.
Again, I feel like
So much green.
no,
Get checked out, bro.
You should get this checked out.
I think DPs. I think everybody tackles realism in a different way.
Exactly.
Like I mean,
Exactly.
I'll use this example that we talked about in Asteroid City. I love the way that they talked about the color of the scene and everything is daylight and it's clean. It's not hot. It's not cold.
Right.
It's just neutral and true.
Until you
And-
get to the
also-
theater scenes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I bet one thing though is when it comes down to film, a common language rule, whatever you want to call it, is that green represents envy. So
Right.
to use in that scene where she's literally jealous over this guy the whole entire time. I mean,
Yeah.
that just stacks
Ooh,
onto
keep
it.
singing,
you know?
bro.
What is
Preach.
this man jealous about in this particular scene?
It's
This
grimy.
is more. I mean, well, look at the context into the story. This is when he's hunting
Exactly.
down the girl, but at the same time, it's inside of this colder cabin. You know,
And you see, that's what he.
And he's
in my
conflicted.
opinion, that's what he got right. Is to
cold.
get the cold because he's also like this motherfucker takes his books to read because he knows he's gonna be in some cabin in the cold, and then he just starts burning them because he's like, "Fuck it, it's too cold. I'm just not. That's
after
not what
reading
this.
it, yeah.
That's not what this thing is gonna be for me. It's not. It's not a getaway. I'm working. This is gonna be like my home, my grimy, cold home. But it's also like a commentary on loneliness. That's where the blues come in. That's where the cold, harsh light comes in.
Isolation.
How does what does the color green feel like to you specifically?
Here's the problem with. Here's the thing. With seeing it in a David Fincher film, he set a precedent for himself. He kind of shot himself in the foot because his early
don't
films
know.
are nothing but straight thrillers, straight true blue thrillers. So he created a mood in these films that was emulating noir. Don't get me wrong. It's
No, yeah,
emulating
no, I know what
a
you're saying.
sense of like Chinatown, right? He's emulating that a little bit, but he's using the green, and that green is meant to show you that grime and grit for thrillers.
Hey.
To show you we're in this environment that's
So you're
uncomfortable,
saying they
that's
shot
not
something
clean,
in the foot
that's
that every time
dirty.
you see that now it's.
I don't know how in something like this that's more mature, something like Social Network or Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, I don't see the motivation behind it. I see the
pause.
motivation behind it in the thrillers. That's setting a tone. In something like this is a procedural. That's what it really is.
No,
I
but
don't know.
it's got a.
'Cause
I think it's
not
got a
really.
layer that.
That's what? That's thriller?
No, because it's a procedural, but then it's exploring both these characters having their.
The procedure was the platform. This is a straight up procedural,
Look,
bro.
Another thing is
The only difference is he's not a cop, but he's acting as a cop. He's an investigator.
Real
This
quick,
is a
pause.
procedural.
another massive thing about this though is that green could also represent a symbol of corruption, which happens a lot in this story when it comes to the family specifically. You
Oh,
know,
wow.
inside
Green?
of this.
So why don't we see it inside the mansion? We see it
It's
in
a
his
class
fucking
thing.
hut. That's my point. I don't see the motivation behind it, and that's just me.
'Cause that,
I just
that
don't.
goes into like another breaking the rules of filmmaking. If the mansion was more cold, warm, like on Bill Skarsgård, not Bill Skarsgård, but Stefan Skarsgård's house, it felt more warm. It felt more
The
inviting,
yellows, yeah.
which is perfect because it's contradicting.
It's
'cause
like
he
your
is the
lamp
villain.
behind you. I don't know if the audience can see that, but that's what
a lamp over
Skarsgård's
there.
mansion felt like.
Yes. So when you have that, it's creating an expectation in our head as an audience member. Okay, this is inviting. I can trust this guy.
Yeah.
Until it slaps you at the end, who he actually
Which is this is the end scene. There's motivation. Cool.
But that's Skarsgård's house.
Yeah, I know. There's motivation in the end. In the last 30 minutes of the film.
There's motivation throughout.
You're just hating,
I
bro.
just didn't feel that way. Hey, I still gave it a pretty decent rating.
Yeah.
That still didn't turn me off to it. I just think it becomes a what is it called? A signature. It becomes a David Fincher signature.
Yeah.
Tell me, you're the only other person in this room I think that saw the killer.
I saw it. I like it.
You saw it? It's all over the killer. It's a thriller thing.
But the use of color in the killers, like the blues, are amazing. They're always used whenever he's in like a cold moment, like a very shitty moment. Before,
Yeah.
really quickly, did you have?
Oh, I was just gonna say that the green just. I think he uses it. Not. I mean, I really like the symbolism thing, but I think he also just uses it as a general like mood setter. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't have to specifically.
And that's what he's
Oh,
fighting
that's
for.
what I mean.
That's what
I mean. Is it's just a signature.
That it's not supposed. It doesn't.
It sets like tone
Contribute
for
to
the
it. It's
film.
It's letting you know
I mean,
you're in a
like, I
David
see
Fincher
green.
film.
Hey,
I see
you're just
green, and
pouring
to
it
me,
on
makes
the-
me like uncomfortable. It feels uncanny. Like,
And that's,
green goes
that's
so
what I
far.
think.
You're
It's
like-
the uncomfortableness, but he's thinking of like why.
What?
You just Kobe the fucking bottle.
Hey, whoa!
I just no, but look,
Kobe, come on,
we're
bro.
both
it's 'cause
kind
it
of
didn't
saying the
make it.
same thing. I think you're right. I think it sends an overall tone right for the film. I think it's also letting you know, hey, you're walking into a David Fincher film.
Fincher film.
Just FYI.
But that's
real
one of those
quick,
things, though.
Uli.
It's kind of like telling Tarantino to tone down the blood and the gore and the violence. Like you watch a Fincher film
Because
because of
it's
the
so much
colors.
fun, Jan.
Exactly.
Again, I just
Because it's so much
motivation.
fun, Carlos.
Look, let me put it to you this way, just as an example. Is it fair? I know you're gonna roll your eyes, Scott, or whatever. Is it fair to compare something like Girl with a Dragon Tattoo to Killers of the Flower Moon? In terms of it being a procedural, investigating murders, who's behind this. It's very similar in terms of plot and character. Okay? And because it is, I don't look, if I didn't know Scorsese, there's not enough signatures in there to be like, all right, I'm in a Scorsese film.
Actually, that's kind of
Excuse me.
I mean, Scorsese's got a whole list with like religion is a massive one.
Religion,
Warriors,
Oneers. I mean, the whole
Italians,
voiceover, the whole
Oneers.
nine,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But something like Killers of the Flower Moon was meant to use, like, if he's going to get his signature, it's not going to be this tone to let you know, hey, come in, you're in the Scorsese film. It's like, this is what the film's about. These are the tools I'm going to use to tell it. They're motivated.
Do you maybe think that that's why in like his filmography later on you're seeing something like Mank where it's saying, hey, can we do the same thing tonally
Yes.
without color?
And it's in black and white. Yes, exactly. Let me ask you this. I think the feeling I have about Fincher is the feeling you have about Wes Anderson,
Okay.
where you're just like, dude, we're in the fucking Wes Anderson film. Everything's symmetrical and the colors are vibrant and we're
You
coming
got
into
me there.
this.
You
I
got me
think
there.
that's how I feel about
You got me
Fincher.
there.
And that's not right. It doesn't make the
no,
storytelling
I see
any
what you're
less
saying.
valid. It doesn't make Fincher a worse story. Of course not. I
just
rate this
part of
pretty
his,
high.
like,
It just
auteurship.
bugs me. It
But
just,
Yeah, it's like,
I
and I
think,
like
you
that
know,
about him. It's
for
his authorship.
again, wrapping around being a retrospective on Fincher's work, and
Yeah.
there's more works that we haven't talked about yet.
Right.
This one, I'm glad that it's a big embodiment. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't like.
It is.
I don't think any of the films we've watched you could like say, you know, it wasn't a David Fincher film, but this one was very much like when you see Wes now. That all of his style, everything's going into it, everything that he enjoys as a director,
Yeah.
as a
Which is cool. Yeah.
a filmmaker.
Yeah.
Because again, when you're dealing with like an IP that the story's already set up for you, everything's already there, you're adding in your own
Yeah.
kind of flair. And I do agree with you. I think at times it doesn't feel always motivated. Like I love that we had the Skarsgård house or that location because there was a visual break and everything.
Yeah.
And because of that visual break, it puts you uneasy. Like even though
Well-
you can see everything, it's so simple.
even that was motivated. When he's invited to
Yeah.
dinner.
Yeah.
He's invited to dinner with the wife and they're drinking wine. He's
Yeah.
going to get a bottle from the basement. Warmth, right? That visual break comes in there to be like, okay, there's some people accepting him in this family. They
Right.
want him to get to the bottom of it. That's the twist, right? Is, well, it's the motherfucker inviting you into his
Yeah,
home.
exactly.
That existed. it set a precedent. That's why the end mansion scene warrants like, okay, there's motivation. Cool. There's motivation there. I
it's-
can relax a little bit.
It's enough to say that he knows how to use it.
Yes.
But I almost feel like it's kind of like if you colored your whole film blue just so you could have one scene that was red, just for the sake of that scene maybe punching more. And I'll say visually, I felt like it did that.
Like
It-
Schindler's List.
I have a question
Yeah.
for you guys. I don't know.
I don't like the way you phrase that. I don't know.
What do you
Castro,
mean?
I don't know if anybody else has. So if you guys have seen it, please comment. I haven't seen it. Do you get the same motivational lighting or stylistic lighting or both in Mindhunter?
Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, you do? Why? What is Mindhunter about?
Serial killers and jail,
Bingo.
everybody. There you go. What is this story about?
Nobody fucking knows. It's just the Fincher project that everybody's obsessed with.
Hey, you better put some respect on Fincher's name, bro. He's
I
on a
feel
tour.
like this has been the
Onion
theme
Mama.
of this month. Is like Castro and I arguing about, yo, Fincher's great. But why does he do this? I'm just curious. Why does he do
Man,
this?
some people like killer movies and killer shows.
feels
Thank
like-
you. You're right.
It feels like all the the Fincher confusion is just compiling.
This
into
is my
episode
comfort
now.
food.
I've
Whenever
admitted,
I
Okay.
see this
I've
guy's,
admitted
real
for
quick.
4 episodes
it's my comfort food.
that it's exactly that I'm the wrong demographic for this. I've
just
admitted
like,
to
I
this.
see the green and yellow, and I'm already tucked
No, but
in.
I fucked with that.
This is a
Same,
good-
same.
this is a good place to be because I think
at
moving
that.
forward. No, moving forward for like the rest of the auteurs. Get that out of here. For the rest of the auteurs, like we have to be able to define
Right.
what is it that you're seeing because
Exactly, and I'm fine with that.
yeah. So
we did
I-
it for Spielberg when we did Blockbuster Month, right?
Yeah,
we kind
the
of defined
whole,
what
like-
are the Spielberg
we kinda
kind of
like-
Dolly the
Yeah, we
crane
kinda
up,
like-
yeah, that whole shot and everything.
John Williams.
John Williams.
Dude, you know what's funny? I was at home and I was making dinner and Sandra was like packing for her trip, and we have just like something on in the background, right? Like Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom. So that's
Temple of
playing
who?
in the background. And
sick.
we had just gotten back home and we had left the music for the dogs. And
I do that
I
too.
just put like
do that
Disney
too.
music or something like that, right? For the dogs. And fucking while Indiana Jones is playing here, the Star Wars score is playing in my Google Home at the same time. And I'm like, the fuck is going on? Is John Williams dead? Did he die? What the fuck is going on? But it felt very like
His
wholesomely cinematic, like
His energy.
cool. It's John Williams. And there was the Temple of Doom score, by the way, with like Star Wars, and those were the two battling.
And then your dog's in a basket on a bike floating.
Yeah, just like oh, did I tell you guys I met Elliot from ET?
What?
At the Dallas International Film Festival.
What?
Yeah, I'll show you guys a picture. He's a nice dude. Super nice dude.
You must be old.
He's
as shit.
still a damn good actor, man.
Yeah?
He was in the Cindy, this feature we saw. He's
What was
really
the indie
good.
called?
The flex.
It's called Due West. Due
Due
West.
Dick?
Yeah, that's all
Due
right.
Dick.
Not
No,
to be
it's called Due
confused.
West. It's great. It's we. Okay, I'm not gonna say. Just wait till September. We might have it at the festival.
No, but I mean like it's their festival running it.
Yeah,
right?
they're festival running. So I mean, yeah, it's an interesting kind of commentary on women in society and how they're viewed and abortion and stuff like that.
Dude, I love women.
But
Henry
this guy
Thomas.
is it Henry Thomas? Yeah, Henry Thomas plays
Henry
a priest,
Thomas.
a pastor
Shout out
that
to
has to
moms.
kind of like weigh in
Shout out to
on
moms.
the abortion kind of situation. So yeah, but he's super nice, dude. Speaking of ET, just
Yeah,
he's
I mean,
a
I'm
good dude.
glad he didn't go the bad route.
No, he's
Okay.
he's still doing pretty good films.
He
Other
was
than
clean from Nickelodeon.
other than this green that I don't know how it transitioned into ET. Thriller's characteristic.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's
the
talk
Femme
about-
Fatale.
Yes, can we talk about performance? I think that's a great bridge. It's like Femme Fatale,
Yeah.
Rooney Mara.
She kinda
I didn't
might have
see
been
her
a
in
girly,
This
dude.
is probably her best role
Yeah.
ever.
You
Like,
know,
I
Maybe
really-
Carol. Maybe Carol's up there also, but
I really didn't
What
see
did
her
you
in
guys
this.
think
I
of
was
the accent?
I thought it was good. I know it's not like the whole like they
Yeah.
shot in Sweden and a good chunk of the characters that had to like, and she's more of a Russian broad.
yeah.
I liked it. I didn't like. I read something that what's the Daniel Craig, that people were like, hey, what do you feel about the accents? He's like, I didn't care. I used my own accent. Who gives a shit? Like we're trying to tell a story here. Don't.
yeah,
you
the
know.
accent wasn't that bad.
I
You guys-
thought it was good.
Do you guys think that she deserved to get nominated for this one?
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, because you know what? Like they were saying, like this is probably one of her best ones, and I like how she like, kind of like stripped down, right? She dyed her hair, colored her eyebrows.
Stripped down.
I was reading that she committed so much to this role. By the way, she wasn't the first person in line for this. Natalie Portman was the first person in line.
I
for
could
this.
definitely see that.
Natalie Portman was suffering from exhaustion at the time. She didn't want to do it. She passed. Then David Fincher went from Natalie Portman to Scarlett Johansson.
No.
And he literally did screen tests with her. She auditioned. And then she's like, nope, she's too sexy. Like,
Yeah.
people are just going to get distracted by those nude scenes. And sure enough, a few years later, Scarlett Johansson did her first nude scene. And that's all people were talking about. They weren't talking about the film. That's not what Fincher wanted. So he kind of kept...
the John
That's
one?
smart, yeah.
What film is that?
John,
Whoa.
What?
what
is it?
The Scarlett Johansson
the
one,
sea.
but
It's called like the layers under me.
Oh,
or
we're
the-
shooting
it's
a
not Don
podcast.
John or Don,
no. That she's not nude in that.
She killed it in Don Juan.
Oh,
dude.
yeah,
That
Don.
a
She was
fucking
terrific in that.
good
No,
one.
it's called
Oh,
like
yeah.
the layers
With a New
beneath us
Jersey
or
accent?
something like that.
It's definitely not going to be called Under the Skin. Made in
Under the skin,
2013.
under the skin. That one. Jeez,
All
it's
right.
not that we're tied. It's okay to talk about. Anyways, he kept going down the line,
13
and
minutes
then
and 50
like
seconds
Rooney
in.
Mara was like, okay, like he kept throwing loops or barriers at Rooney Mara to be like, I know we worked on Social Network together, and that was fun, but I don't think you can pull this off. And she kind of kept vying for it. And he would like bring her in for screen tests. The studio didn't want her. The studio was like, "The fuck are you doing with her? Like, you just made a very successful Oscar-winning film. What do you want her for?"
Yeah.
And she kept vying for it. And then he would do screen tests with her. At one point, Castro, talk about method acting. He told her, "Hey, studio wants to see some pictures. Go get shit-faced drunk tonight, like shit-faced where you're gonna be puking in the morning.
What the fuck?
And then come in at 9 a.m. so I can take pictures of you." And apparently that's what sold the studio on it.
no way.
She came in all hungover.
She came in just like
my
all
bags
shit,
under
right?
her eyes.
On top of everything, she was obsessed with the book. She like loved this character. This was her first full nude scene, and she was like, "I don't care. Like, I want to do this."
She was that
all the
committed.
piercings were real, including, and I'm not trying to be like gross about this, but the nipple piercing. She literally like was like, "Look, the character's doing it. I'm doing it. This isn't gonna be fake." She even left it on because there was potential sequels. She says, "I'm not going through that shit again. I'm gonna leave the piercings on because this is a character I want to
Wow.
keep playing." It bombed. They didn't do it, and then she married Joaquin Phoenix. I don't know. And
That's
Nice.
because it's actually
Good
not
for
that bad
her.
of a movie. It holds up, and she really stands out
yeah,
in this one.
yeah. I thought she was terrific. I mean, I think in terms of performance, when you need her to be subtle and you need her to be kind of a recluse, she can play that extremely well. But when she needs to have a voice, especially in like the rape scenes and stuff like that, she's gonna have a voice.
One of the things that stands out is like you could tell like she's isolated. You know, she's kind of like to herself, but she doesn't make eye contact unless she really wants something.
Oh yeah.
That's what you were kind of talking about, and
Yeah.
that's one thing I really noticed with her, where it's like she's always on edge. She's always ready to fight or run, but those eyes tell a lot.
When he asks her, or when he goes to her apartment and basically says like, "Yo, I know you wrote some shit piece article about me, but I need you to help me find this woman killer." Her eyes light up.
Exactly.
And it's like, okay, you got my attention. I'm with
that
you.
whole scene is so interesting because seeing her wake up, she just had a good night. She like got this girl in her bed, and then like being like, "Oh, I might be in trouble. Just give me a minute." Like,
Yeah.
let me just kind of figure this out. Almost like a kid getting caught, but then very quickly again it turns to excitement.
Yeah.
It turns into
Yeah.
her being like, "Oh, don't ask me if I'm on the case. Like, I'm already going to start working on it." Like just
Her character development was amazing too. Like even
yeah. Oh
the
my
first
God.
scene, like specifically, let's talk about like the elephant in the room, like the building up to the rape scene and stuff like that. The first time that we see her,
Yeah.
Which
I thought that it was gonna be this whole situation where like she's in the office and you only see like half of her face, so it makes you think like, oh, she's
Sure.
gonna fuck this guy up.
Yeah.
But she doesn't. And then the next
Yeah.
time you see it, she's going to the room and you see that like when she enters a room, she puts her bag down and whatever is in her bag turns into a close up, and it makes you feel like, okay, whatever's in the bag is gonna be safe, that she can use
Yeah.
as a weapon to hit
Yeah.
this guy.
right.
But
I-
there is something in the bag, but
I
it's
love
not a
that.
weapon.
I
But
love
then-
that.
and then-
I love that. It's very hard, I think, and I think it's just because I just read the Good Will Hunting screenplay today that it's so fresh in my mind. But she's like the modern Good Will Hunting character. Like, she's a genius. She comes from a rough past. She gets beaten, grown up. Like, she right. It follows all those things, but it's post Good Will Hunting. It was hard to use those things in character development. Because then it just feels forced or it feels like borrowed or whatever.
Borrowed
right?
from that.
So it kind of feels like, oh, yeah, they're doing that thing. Or maybe just because I love the film so much. But it didn't feel that way for her character. It felt honest. It felt she's a ward of the state. It wasn't like, yeah, she was beaten or her parents were pieces of shit. It was like, she's the property of the government. She's a ward of the state. And that, to me, is hard to do. Not to mention the unconventional arc of like finding confidence in this guy, finding trust again, finding
That was her
You know that the
development.
original
That was
name of
really
the book, by the way, the Swedish translation of this book, it's not Girl with a Dragon Tattoo. It's Women Who Hate Men or something like that.
Really?
Yeah. Like it's the Swedish translation. Like the original book is called Women Who Hate Men or something like that. What's the actual translation?
I'm not too big a
Men
fan
Who
of this
Hate
one.
Women. Sorry. Men Who Hate Women. That's the original title of the book. So to see her character, knowing that in context, right? And to see her character go from like, yeah, I was right. Men are pieces of shit. My dad was a piece of shit. The guy who's managing my money is a piece of shit. I mean, like going through all of this and then seeing her arc into like, I trust this guy. I really like working with you. I kind of want to fuck you. I'm going to. I'm kind of falling in love with you.
Yeah.
I kind of want to see that through and then to see like, oh, you're not a piece of shit. You never promised me the world. You're going to go pursue the love of your life, apparently. What's my arc? Where does my character development end? And you just see her riding off
She
into
just
the
rides off.
darkness,
No, yeah,
right?
and very easily that she got that gift and
Yeah.
throws it in the
Throws it
trash.
in the trash. Like,
and
I'm
then
not
just
going
kinda-
to, I'm
Yeah.
not here to impress a man. I'm not
Yeah.
You
here
know,
to
it was like a
please him.
really good, like, taking off the backpack moment when she was in the coffee shop and she was like, I need to borrow $50,000. You'll get it back. And he was like, all right.
All right, cool. You want a coffee?
That's
Yeah,
when,
do you want a do you want a coffee?
And
one-
her reaction to that scene, you want a coffee? Her reaction was like,
dude,
because
that
think
moment
about the whole
hit.
arc. The entire time she's asking a man for money, that dude's like,
there
I'll
has
give
to
you
be-
$5 for groceries. Like,
Yeah.
what do you want an expensive laptop for? Like, she's, and then just to
It's
be
either
like,
that or I want you to have the money, but you got to give me some.
right.
And just the
Right.
immediate trust
I
that
want
this
you to
guy
have
gives
this
him.
laptop. But the arc of trusting this guy, which again, if I had my druthers, I would have wanted to milk that arc a lot more. More moments with them together.
No, I think it was enough, 'cause I thought it was such a-
like, it just feels like because she hasn't gotten a lot of that ability to trust.
Which is even more beautiful. You only get a snippet of it.
Yeah.
Where you've extended too much, it's like, well, the whole character
To
kind
me,
of, like,
it's
falls apart.
what it doesn't bug me. It's good. What I wanted to see more of is like what happens when you adopt a dog from the pound, right? And I'm not comparing a woman to a dog. I'm
But you
just
want to
saying-
see
This
how...
man's comparing.
No,
you're
but
comparing, like,
when you adopt an abused dog from the pound, they're very flighty. They're very flighty. It takes a long time for them to trust you. I know. I've had this happen.
No,
so
no,
I know.
it just sounds
It
funny.
takes a long time for them to trust you. It's not easy. You have to really like overly love them. You have to overly like win their trust. And even then, you might not even fully win their trust. I think humans are like that. I think genuinely, if you grow up with some type of hardship, and that's why the arc of like Good Will
absolutely.
Hunting or this is so good because it's like I grew up with hating men. My dad used to put a wrench and a stick and a belt in front of me and say pick. I mean, like
I naturally have a
get the wrench,
defensive...
you naturally have those defenses. And even in the end of Good Will Hunting, he doesn't fully trust. He fully trusts one man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Robin,
saying?
yeah.
In her case too, it just kind of felt like I would have wanted to see why are you trusting him so easily? Is it because he's down on his luck right now? Is it because you know everything about him because you wrote this fucking article about
You know what
him?
I think it was?
You know,
The moment that he said, like, I want to get a woman killer, that was the moment that her eyes
That
lit
was
up.
the-
And that was the moment that she was like, okay, this guy has good intentions. Let me see.
that's the
who
door,
they really
right?
are.
That's him
Do you
opening
think
the
it's
door.
The opening.
Is
Yeah,
it a
yeah.
good intentions thing, or is it the fact that would have like intrigued her either way? Because I thought it was more towards that. I thought it was the fact that she.
Before that, all the men in her life are like the dad is basically nonverbal to her. The other guy, I mean, we all know what happened with that guy. And basically, before she meets him,
Yeah.
all the males in her life are fucked up.
Yeah.
So this moment, the moment that,
But I
So
don't-
much
towards
so,
women.
so much so that she chose women.
yeah,
She's
Yeah.
in a sexual relationship with a woman.
I gap that. That is true. She was with a woman.
You know,
But I don't feel like him saying, "Oh, I'm catching a woman killer," was a moment that
I'm with him.
builds trust.
Yeah,
I
I'm
agree.
with
I
them.
think it's the door. I think it's
Yeah.
the door
It's
knob.
it's a door for
it's-
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's to get you interested
Yeah.
and get you working with me, but it's not the, oh, this
You
is
can
a trust
trust
moment.
me.
Yeah, like
It was like
I
the
think it was more
equivalent
the
to Sean's
50,000.
monologue in Good Will Hunting.
I'll be honest with you. I think this is how I felt screening the film last night. When she first like propositions him to sleep with him, I thought, oh, she's testing him. Okay, she's just testing. It's gonna end when he says no. because that's what she's trying to get to. Like,
Yeah.
are you gonna fuck me?
Oh, that's a good one.
That's how I processed it. I
That's
was
actually-
genuinely expecting for him to
That's
like
more real.
her get naked and she's gonna get on the bed with him and then he's gonna be like, hey, we shouldn't do this. And then he'd be like, okay, good, I was testing you. Like,
Yeah.
I'm putting my clothes back on. No, they fucked. Like, it just, I was wrong
But
entirely.
also there was that trusting moment where he's like, I don't think this is a good idea.
Right.
It's like, okay, shut up.
so
Like,
you're not a total piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. I don't know. So it's great character.
I
Great
will
character.
say, it's really fascinating the way that they were able to build those scenes when they first interact.
Yeah.
Because when he's like, "Hey, I'm trying to get this girl's interest to work with me. I know that
Yeah.
you've already read a lot of shit, but I brought breakfast. Like,
Yeah.
is that okay?" And
But that's-
you could feel the
Yeah.
tension on both
Yeah.
sides with him asking
you should
her.
eat that.
Yeah, thinking like, "Hey, I'm trying to be a nice guy." Not knowing what we know, the audience, where you just you can imagine her thinking like, which one did he poison? Like,
I think that
And then you
Right.
contrast that moment with the day after they fuck. She already made him
Yeah,
breakfast.
yeah.
And then
There's
what do
already
they
break-
say
yep.
with each other? He even tells her
It's
like
so
she tells him like
interesting.
I like working with you,
Yeah.
and he's like I really like working with you.
yeah.
too."
Yeah.
Like,
I-
that's subtext right there, dude.
That's
Oh
what
my
I felt. It did. I don't know if you guys felt the same way. The third act, right, or the fifth act, depending on how you process this film.
I'm a 3-act guy.
You're three. Well, this I don't know. You could. I think this was a 5-act.
I could do it in 2.
But the final act, right? I genuinely.
Yeah.
If the film ended on the hug between the old man and the woman,
I would have been happy.
Chris Plummer's character and the girl. Cool, great, perfect. And then you
wouldn't-
start realizing, okay, he's letting this breathe more to get his character. The pieces, the bits and pieces of his fall down, his downfall rather in the beginning, to end that arc, right? To like, okay, he gets redemption. He gets to
Right.
redeem his character. Okay, all right, I'll let that play out. It's another 20 minutes. I'll let it play out. And then the almost cherry on top. I'd like to call it a hat on top of a hat, but it really isn't for character development. It's a cherry on top. When she does the whole scheme, the $50,000 scheme, she does
Oh,
it for
yeah.
him.
Exactly.
She does it for him entirely. So it's like,
That's the cherry on top of the
that's
steak.
what I just said. I'm willing to accept that. But
On top of the steak, not the cake.
why, when in her nature, would she ever do that for a man?
Oh.
Yeah.
And that's the arc, right? That's why, like, her throwing away the gift and being like, you know what, I don't need him. I don't need to please a man. I don't need a man. But I did this thing for him because he did so much for me. He allowed me to trust men again.
But I feel like she threw away the gift to kind of tell us as an audience, like, she sees him with the other girl.
Yeah.
So then that's her way of kind of being like,
I-
all right, I'm distancing this whole
Yeah.
thing.
I also
guess,
think
you guys are- yeah. I'm
it's-
just repeating what you guys are saying.
No, it's good.
Hey, it happens to the
it's
best of us,
also
bro.
it's also such a like a female empowering moment that
Yeah.
that even if they wanted to give the audience the feeling of like, oh, but at the end of the day she's still just a hurt, scared girl, that was meant to be a moment of like, oh, I can't get with the guy that I was like fucking earlier, like guess I'm just on my own, do my thing because
Yeah.
I don't need that, you know.
That's the other thing, too, is just like on a logistical note.
I don't know how to put that.
The fact that they knew they were going to end the film this way, and like David Fincher almost makes fun of it.
Like
He's
they were
like,
set on that.
They were set on her, yeah. And Rooney Mara was like, yeah, I could give a shit about the nudity and the fucking and the rape scenes. Well,
She
it's all
just
good.
didn't-
I just don't think it's safe for our stunt driver to fucking haul ass downhill. So
glad
David
she said
Fincher
something.
painted it to be that, like, everybody here now, I think, and if you don't, and you're a filmmaker, I'm sure you do know what wet downs are, right?
Yeah.
So we all know what wet downs are. We just had quite a few in El Paso that we're a part of. These wet downs in this rocky terrain downhill are going to magnify the intensity of danger
Exactly.
for a stunt driver, right? So
Slippery.
she was worried for her stunt driver, and Fincher's like, no, this is how we have to do it. We have to show that she's strong enough to do even this, right? Like her character will continue to do the.
Half the audience is not going to understand that.
But that's
But
the thing
that's-
about great directors is that
Yeah, no, I
they pay
love
attention
that,
to the
but-
minor details
Yeah.
like that.
Okay.
It's
Lin
a rocky
Ramsey-
terrain. It's not some straight highway. It's like
I did
because if
notice
she's
it.
driving 100 miles an hour on a straight road, but
Oh,
if
yeah.
she's
Yeah.
driving downhill in this rocky
Especially those
terrain and
smooth
these
rocks
like
and
yeah,
shit with-
It's
yeah.
kind of like, damn, she can whip.
she
it.
can do anything.
Yeah.
she can do anything. She can leave a man and be on her own and do whatever she needs to. And now she's free.
Because you even
Independent
see
as
it, I think, in the facial expressions that for a moment there's an expression, and it's so subtle, but an expression of sadness,
Yes.
like that she didn't get that guy. and then it just turns. where it's like-
it just turns off. Like,
Yeah.
I gotta turn this off.
I got to turn this off. I got to turn on my bike.
Yeah.
Like
it's so good.
it's good. I thought that arc was
I feel
almost
like for
better
this-
than his arc. I liked her arc.
What,
a lot.
what do we think of
Daniel Craig's.
007? Took me a while to get away from him. 'cause
You guys were calling another character Tom Hardy or what? Tom Hardier?
Oh yeah, fucking.
Oh man.
Daniel
Extra
Craig,
Hardy?
Daniel Craig gained weight for this role because he didn't want people to see him like 007.
he didn't get enough because I still.
Yeah, give that man a cheeseburger.
Yeah.
I'll say
man.
this. This is a cool story. Fincher propositioned, oh gosh, Tony Way. Tony Way is Tom Hardier. Tom Hardy.
Look at Hardy.
Tom
Too
Extra
Hardy.
Hardy.
Tom
Husky.
Husky.
David Fincher went to the set of The Adventures of Tintin
Okay.
to cast Daniel Craig. In full body armor, whatever, in full motion capture
That's
suit.
what-
He sat down and said, "How do you feel about playing this dude for me?" And right away he was like, "Yeah, this is interesting. It's gonna take me away from the blue screen. It's gonna take me away from 007
Yeah, people that
stuff."
are stuck with one character, that's exactly what they want.
And think about this. I don't know if you guys share the same opinion. My favorite Daniel Craig performance is hold on, scroll up.
Is it the one where he's a neighbor to
Scroll down, sorry. No, it's
Logan.
Knives Out.
Knives Out, dude. Oh, Knives Out.
Tell me that this isn't a precursor for Knives Out. He's
I
playing a
haven't
detective.
It really
I haven't
is.
seen it.
I was thinking about that the whole time. I'm
haven't
like,
seen it.
they had to. Oh,
You haven't seen Knives Out?
I know there's two of them. I haven't
Glass
seen it.
Onion was okay. That's more of an Edward Norton thing. But
Yeah.
Knives Out.
He's a detective, right?
And Chris Plummer also comes out in Knives Out. He plays
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah.
patriarch.
He does
Okay.
something. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But again, I'm only saying that in the
Yeah,
sense
yeah.
that it did get him out of that typecasting kind of situation from playing 007 roles his whole
Also,
life.
yeah, I love the fact that in Knives Out they completely also flip the accent.
Yeah, it's a Kentucky
yeah,
or
it's
whatever.
Kentucky
Southern drawl.
Foghorn
Southern
Leghorn.
Foghorn, yep.
What do you think is like the coolest accent to have in film?
Foghorn Leghorn.
Foghorn Leghorn.
Russian, bro. I love Russian.
Russian.
Yeah,
Bring out the
Russian's an interesting
vodka
one.
and women.
Got to keep your hand in talk.
That was great.
I'll give you one. I'll give you an unpopular one, but like for people like me, it's not the transatlantic
Oh shit.
accent.
Let me see. Let me see. Let me get a little snippet.
That's the fucking. That's the 1950s black and white accent,
Yes,
huh?
yeah. So
the
like,
fucking
you'll never get it
Humphrey
from me,
Bogart.
copper or whatever.
Oh,
you know?
coming up to the plane. We got the young buck one.
Yeah,
That
it's literally a language or accent created by Hollywood. It doesn't exist.
Sorry, boys.
Yeah.
All out of giggle juice.
Yes. Yeah.
Can we please
that
have
was
the
when they were,
blacks
like,
on the
just-
right and the whites on the left? Oh,
Dude, they had people.
Jesus.
Jeez.
Dang.
We
They
said
had
we're going back in
people
time. My
in the
bad.
studio
Cut that.
system. They had people in the studio system, dialect coaches. We see them like singing in the rain.
Oh, that's cool.
Or Babylon, right? Like they had people teaching them how to speak a made up accent.
Dude,
you know how fucking cool that is?
that's
I thought that it was all the
awesome.
cigarettes and alcohol that they were slamming.
That's
back
part
then.
of it too.
Asbestos all over. your
I love that whole scene in Singing in the Rain where they're like, the Moses, Kulosis, that whole writing
Yeah.
sequence. And then when she's teaching the girl how to like properly,
Oh yeah, yeah.
you know, like that
That
was
is
an
awesome,
actual
dude.
thing, dude.
Just a fun fact: Carlos is a diehard musical fan.
I am.
I don't know why.
And we always just,
In case you don't know, if you don't know, now you know, friend.
Friend.
and you don't know, now you know.
He likes movies.
I sure
Pal.
do. But yeah, transatlantic. I'll go trans. Let's bring the transatlantic accent back. The
bring
Coen
back-
Brothers did it.
Yeah. They do every accent.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, that's
The-
why I was
the
like,
accent
got to keep
from
a hand in talk.
A Serious Man. Or is it a Serious Man? What- the
No,
one that
you're
he-
thinking of Fargo, the
Oh, that
Oh,
one
Fargo
too.
for sure.
That
Yeah.
accent.
Is it Canadian or?
It's almost
Yeah.
Canadian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's up north.
I like that thick South accent.
The man who wasn't there?
No. The one you like so much. The Serious Man. No?
A serious man.
That accent.
That
the
was in the
Jewish
60s.
kind of.
Oh,
Yeah,
whoa.
no, really.
Upswing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good movie. I remember.
Jew Twang, I think it's called.
Jew twang.
That's a
I fucks with it. Yeah, I don't know.
It's got
Again,
that Jew Twang.
so Daniel Craig,
catchy.
I think this was a good
Sounds
film
good.
to like break him out.
Yeah.
High
I actually do. I mean, I'm kind of embarrassed I haven't watched this one, but
You
So-
should. You'll love it, dude.
I got a question.
Wait, a
for
serious
you.
man?
No.
No.
Knives Out.
Oh.
Being a Stellan Skarsgård fan from Good Will Hunting,
Fuck yes.
what do you think about him in this?
Him
one?
playing the villain in this is great.
Was this the start of him being
You know
the
what?
villain?
I don't know. No, I mean, if
Thor
that's the
was-
cool thing. I was reading in the screenplay in the Good Will Hunting screenplay. There's an opening by Gus Van Sant. and he talks about meeting Ben and Matt and kind of vying for this thing and how it took 3 years to go from like selling of the script to making the actual picture. And he talks about Bill Skarsgård, right? Not Bill Skarsgård, Stellar Skarsgård. That whole family's fucking talented, man.
Fucking Skarsgård.
But he talks about casting Skarsgård, and he says basically like, the reason I was so attracted to go to a hunting is there's no clear painted villain. Some people can view Skarsgård as a villain, but is he? He kind of discovered. He kind of saved the day.
Yeah, more voices of reasoning, kind of.
Yeah. Well, no, that's Robin Williams.
Yeah.
He gives this guy a future. I mean, that's not
Exactly.
shit.
He bails him out of jail. He saves this guy's life basically to an extent, right?
True.
So there's no clear painted villain. If anything, the villain in Good Will Hunting is Will himself.
The villain is the friend that we made along the way.
Maybe that's the true villain. No, but genuinely, like Skarsgård, but there's a notion of like you don't want to root for this guy because he's kind of being an asshole. He doesn't want to let Will heal before he.
True.
So like I think that's where it starts. I
just feel like in a lot of his performances, whenever you see him, you never know whether you should feel good around him or bad around him because very quickly he can turn on this almost fatherly charm.
Yep.
And then later on turn into like, oh no, you like to tie people up in your basement. That's not.
I imagine him to be like a textbook middle class dad.
I think with this kind of character, I think he kind of showed us where evil doesn't have to shout.
Sure. Oh, that's good. It's really good.
You can whisper and still.
Oh, can you look up the Swedish?
Clip that.
It's in the trivia on IMDb, but the Swedish Bill Skarsgård apparently just like go to trivia and search taglines. Bill Skarsgård provided the taglines for Girl with a Dragon Tattoo because they're Swedish. Oh gosh, what are they called?
Models.
No, they're like
Pin-up
sayings,
models.
like
Sayings?
like sayings, Swedish sayings that like
Women.
just put like a tagline or something like that.
Look up Swedish women, Austin, please.
Or just tag, I don't know. There you go.
Why am I
So
sweating
two of
so
the
much?
movie's taglines: evil shall with evil be expelled, and what is hidden in the snow comes forth in the thaw. Our Swedish proverb. Stellan Skarsgård, himself a Swede, told them to David Fincher during filming. Fincher liked them so much that they thought he fit the story and used them as taglines for all the promotion of
I'm
Girl with
telling
Dragon.
you, bro.
What if he just chat GPT that shit?
In 2011? Good luck, kid.
Dude, did you know that the opening was AI? True story.
Nah.
It was probably a commentary on AI on what's coming
Yeah.
up now. I love that. I know that's again another David
fucking-
Fincher's like signature
Make these sticks.
to open films with these highly stylized like
Skyfall.
CGI like
okay.
things. Well, like Fight Club in the trash can.
Oh yeah,
Or like
these
Seven.
CGI. Just I don't know.
By the way,
there's like
the biblical
the
thing
2000s.
too. Another David Fincher like 7 deadly sins. The Leviticus Bible verses
I
for all
didn't
this
even
shit.
catch that. What?
Even
Gone Girl too. Gone Girl has a.
and you always put that little like. Did you catch the McDonald's? He always likes to put little
Is that a
capitalistic
thing?
things in
Oh,
there.
that's
I saw,
true. That's
she
a
had
good
like
point.
a McDonald's
That's
like
his-
Happy Meal, right?
Every time.
Yeah, that's his trademark.
Dude,
bro.
seeing the old school box kind of made me sad, dude. Now it's all like
I know.
industrialized
It
and shit.
is.
No, it's the Minecraft
golden
movie.
red.
Just the last thing on Skarsgård. He says that making this film made him extremely happy because it was the first film he was ever able to like
Tie
go
up Daniel
ho-
Craig.
Yeah, now go home and sleep in his own bed because he lives in Stockholm.
Oh, that's cool.
Like they shot in Sweden, they shot in Stockholm for the most part, and he was able to go home and sleep in his own bed.
I mean, that's the best thing, right? You don't have to travel
Yeah.
back to wherever.
Fun fact: the only scene they shot outside of Sweden. They shot some of the London things, but was the tunnel thing? I think the first tunnel motorcycle thing was shot in L.A. And David Fincher's philosophy was like, we have to make this feel like Sweden, right?
Yeah.
What are we gonna do? We're just gonna put a shitload of Volvos in the frame. Not joking around. It's just a bunch of fucking Volvos.
Dude,
So
people
a lot
who
of
drive
Volvos.
Volvos are
We
just
must be in
automatically
stock.
rich. Fuck it.
Anyways, yeah. Girl with a dragon tattoo.
Final
Hey,
ratings?
I'll go up to an 8.3
Woo! Got him, boys.
only because
Get your cold cuts.
Get cold cut. Cold cut.
I don't I don't feel like we talked about it too much.
Yeah.
But the layering of these characters and the fact that I
What do you mean we didn't talk? That's all we talked about.
No, we talked about their performances, but I mean as characters, like the way that they were written, because I know that ties more into the book.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
to see that, like, how do you describe it? I was focused more on the emotional tensions between the characters than I was on the plot. And I love that he was able to use these crime procedural plots as these landing pads for really, really strong characters.
I like that.
The simplified way I can put it, and it sounds bad. It sounds like I'm bashing it. I'm not. Is like when you're playing like Legend of Zelda or like Super Mario, right? You're playing. It's a map, right? And you go from point to point. But when you go into the point, like you dive into the point and you get immersed in that world, and then you have to finish that level before you go into the next point of the map.
Right.
That's what this is in terms of using plot. That's the map with all the points. You got to follow the points for the plot.
Yeah.
But when you go into the worlds, that's the character development.
Yeah. And I'll say this, like in other films, like I'm trying to think of like spy movies, right? To get to the next beat in the plot, we're focused more on like how did they do it? Like we're focused more on the they had to sneak in. They almost got caught, or they had to fight somebody to like get to the end. I mean,
that's how the killer is.
Yeah,
genuinely.
Or look at like something like Seven. There's always these moments where like are they going to catch him? Are they not?
Yeah.
But with this one, really quickly with a lot of the inserts, they kind of glaze over that.
Yeah.
Just because it's like you already know that he knows how to solve cases. Yeah. She's really good at her job, but she's also not afraid to break the law to get there. So you're just watching them doing their jobs.
Yeah.
That then when they reconvene, that's where all the tension's at. That's where all the meat's at because, again, you're focused on these characters that are really complex. He's coming out of a situation where he's had a bad reputation, but still has a lot to like give as far as like investigation. Yeah. So I just thought that was fascinating. I feel like with the other movies we've seen, I'm more focused on like how's it all going to end. Yep. This one I was more focused on them. I
agree.
Interesting. Cool. Hell yeah.
I agree. I'll stick it at an 8.3. I feel the same way about it. I think it's great. I think you're right. I think this is the Fincher I'd like to see more of.
Yeah,
where he's focusing on the character development.
You guys are all right. You guys are all right.
We can hang.
We can hang.
You guys can hang. Bro.
Anybody else on the rating changes?
I'll give it a 9.9 just because of the use of the color green.
Oh gosh, go fucking go!
Wow,
go and fuck
use that everywhere.
All the way up.
Next episode, all green.
I know. I'm giving it a 8.7.
8.7.
You got a rating?
I still. And the last time I talked, I still haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it in the past hour and a half?
Nothing's changed.
Cool.
I don't understand.
This
all right.
Everything's the same.
If you guys feel like we should talk more Fincher, there's obviously some films we haven't covered of his. We've
Killers.
We've covered
of the Flower Moon.
No, definitely not. Although, if I'm not mistaken,
of the Bull.
Steve Zalian also wrote Killers of the Flower Moon.
Taxi of the Driver.
Steve Zalian wrote this script.
King of the Comedy.
Really?
Yeah, I think Steve Zalian also wrote Killers of the Flower Moon. Yeah, right?
Wow.
Oh, also,
This guy's good. This guy's good.
Who is it?
Isn't Fincher the one that direct Quentin Tarantino?
He is. He's going to direct Tarantino's
I
series.
wanted to make sure.
Why'd you whisper when we're on a
I didn't-
podcast?
No,
I
that's
didn't
a good
He was
point.
shy.
Yeah, right before we close
Steve
out.
Zalian.
Fincher month.
I'll toss this out there. Yeah, while they're looking that up.
Yeah.
We're closing out our Fincher month. Let us know what you guys think about if we should cover any other films. And Castro's right. There's a big announcement that just happened.
It's never happened before like this.
It really hasn't.
We're
It kind of
two
sets a
great
precedent.
directors, two auteurs.
Yeah. David Fincher is set to direct and be heavily involved in Tarantino's
Sequel to...
It's sequel / like off spinoff. Spinoff to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, focusing on Cliff Booth's character, starring Brad Pitt.
Something tells me that there's going to be cocaine on that set.
You don't say. The other thing is that they already said that Leo is set to come and cameo for a few episodes and shit like that.
I'm
So,
sold.
Oh, it's The Irishman.
Wow.
The Irishman. It's The Irishman. Okay, he wrote The Irishman.
Okay, yeah, that's why I didn't care.
American Gangster.
Look at this guy's fucking filmography, though.
Yeah,
Damn.
man. These are again.
Moneyball.
Hey, come on,
American
come on.
Apparently, he worked
Gangs
on
in
some
New
songs
York.
with fucking
Gangs in New York.
Mission Impossible, Schindler's List.
Yep.
Damn.
Steve Zalian, man. It's awesome.
He's got that. dog in him.
so
Awakenings
yeah.
is a good one.
Yeah, I like that
Yeah.
one. Robert De
Awakenings
Niro.
is a really good one. Yeah.
And
What is
Robin Williams. huh?
Robin Williams.
Robin
yeah.
Williams.
Yeah. Next month, so thank you guys for tuning in for Fincher Month. Next month, we continue our auteur series, and
so
we
good.
switched this. We might have teased this poorly before. I'm
Yeah,
sorry for that. We kind of switched it
dude,
last
easy.
minute.
I've been teased poorly my whole life.
Whatever, you're getting the good end of the stick here, bro.
Stop being a tease.
We're gonna cover Wes Anderson next month, all the month of June. We're gonna cover Wes Anderson, and the second episode we're gonna kick off with Rushmore. But the second episode immediately after, we're going to talk about the Phoenician Scheme. We're going to talk about his new film
His
because it's
news,
coming out right
yes.
that
Now,
week.
hold on. Before we just go over that, we
Yeah.
got to remind everybody that the Phoenician Scheme is
A
Wes
movie.
Anderson and Michael Cera. That's
yeah,
like a match
Benicio
made
del
in
Toro,
heaven, dude,
Michael
and we
Cera's
can-
coming back. Like that,
Oh, shit,
that
bro.
cast is
That's gonna
stacked
be
again.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I just loved what Benicio del Toro did in the French Dispatch, dude. I loved it so much that I'm so excited to see him be a
A
lead.
feature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see him in One Battle After Another.
I am too. We saw the man here in person.
We're
Now.
gonna talk about that one too. Later
Yeah,
on.
so
Hey,
Michael
man,
Cera,
it's-
Benicio del Toro. Who else is in this?
Everybody.
Willem Dafoe.
William
Oh, F. Murray
Dafoe.
Abrams is coming back.
Steve Park.
Basically, all the Wes Anderson players for the most part. are coming
Donald something.
Hey,
No, I'm just
that
kidding, I
rep-
don't know who that
Wow.
guy is.
So the Phoenician Scheme, we'll cover that, and then after that, we'll go into the Royal Tenenbaums, which has been requested on this podcast a lot.
And we're
like,
finally
for a
gonna
long
do
time.
it.
We're finally going to do it. Darjeeling Limited. I'm excited to talk about that one because
I haven't heard a lot of that
the
one.
first time I screened it, I was like, So I really want to rewatch it again.
I also think you didn't really look into Sayaji Ray at the
Right.
time, right?
I didn't.
So
Ooh.
you'll probably see all the
Yeah,
references.
yeah. He was heavily inspired by Satyajit Ray for
And the French
Darjeeling.
Dispatch.
And then one of my personal favorites
heard a lot of good
is
things
French
of this one.
Dispatch. I really do love it. I feel like the Lao doesn't love that one as much.
I love all my children, okay? No, I love all of his films. And I mean, for me, it's more of a let me see what your style normally is. And
Yeah.
then I think that there's a West film that can really complement that or something
sure.
you can get into. We've always
Yeah,
talked about like what is the intro film and
Yeah.
then what's my favorite and then what's a good
And
kind
we've
of-
already covered like Grand Budapest on this.
Yeah, everybody has their favorite, man. Everybody like
Fantastic
looks at
Mr.
it and they're
Fox.
like, "Oh no, Life Aquatic was the best
Yep.
one," or
Isle of Dogs.
Isle of
over
Dogs,
here.
like
Yeah.
Fantastic Mr.
I'm,
Fox.
I'm
Aquatic's
kind
the
of
best.
just glad that we're not. Oh, don't hate me. I'm kind of just glad that we're not covering Moonrise Kingdom for this.
We already did, no?
No.
I don't think we did.
No, I think we
Hell
just
no, we
watched
wouldn't.
it together.
Oh wow.
I like Moonrise Kingdom. It doesn't.
I felt dirty.
Were you guys cuddling when you guys were watching?
Yeah.
it together?
They were
Yeah,
cuddling
we were
during that
dancing
scene.
naked by
Yeah,
a
we
lake.
were cuddling, and then the beach
At
scene
13
came on,
also.
and then it just felt wrong.
No, but
My
I do
favorite
think-
moment is when they're like, "Oh, have you ever gotten your ears pierced before?" Remember that whole scene where it's a very Wes Anderson like body horror
Yeah,
because he's just jabbing a fish hook in this girl's ear.
Yeah.
And then they end that scene by her just saying, "Do it again." You're like,
I really do enjoy all
Fantastic.
of the like I guess like Full Metal Jacket moments of Moonrise Kingdom. Like the camp.
What?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like a camp where they're like not torturing, but they're like making these kids like do some shit, you know?
I've never seen
But
that.
it felt like a Full Metal Jacket army at base camp type
I'm
of thing.
so excited to show you guys Rushmore because again,
Yeah,
talking
I've
about
never
like
seen it.
talking about like a tour month, you know, it's looking into different aspects of their filmography.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say that this is where you started to see the Wesisms.
I'm so
Yeah.
into that. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like it's so
Albeit, I'm a little I'm excited to cover it because I've never seen it. You'll be happy to know, Castro, that Scorsese, this is his favorite Wes Anderson film, Rushmore. He
Oh,
like
really?
praised him for it when it first came out and shit. But
Not the ones after?
albeit I'm a little sad we're not covering Bottle Rocket. A little sad. Because I
Well,
love Bottle Rocket.
Yeah. That's the
we
one, the first
may
one.
cover it next year.
True.
I know that sounds like super long away.
Oh, we have
Yeah,
2 free
I
months,
can't
so.
wait.
Yeah. But no, this is gonna be good. It'll be a good month. We're gonna cover
Make sure you subscribe for our Bottle Rocket episode. It's dropping.
we're covering
on the
Wes
bell
next year.
Yeah. We're covering Wes Anderson. We're covering Christopher Nolan.
Oh, and with Christopher Nolan, we're gonna end that one off with a bang.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Literally.
Yeah, Japan knows what you mean.
Jeez.
That'll
Scorsese, Nolan, and I think we're ending.
Oh, you ruined the surprise.
It was a surprise.
It was.
We have never
No,
announced that
no.
last one.
We've
Yeah.
never announced
No.
it. Genuinely.
Well,
That, but we're
Editing.
covering it because of all
Bleep
tour
it out.
month.
Bleep it out. No,
Well-
we're doing tour months, but it's leading to something.
Now
Yeah,
that the
just put a
surprise
big
is out,
censor.
we're covering. No, I'm just playing. Fuck
No, bleep it
Okay.
out. I swear, bleep it out.
Beep, beep, beep. All right, fine. We'll do our best. to be
Fine.
quick
All tour months for the next 4 months. So
And
stay
then-
tuned for that, and then we get into like
And then Christmas.
Christmas or something. Yeah, genuinely.
here. Christmas.
All
here.
right.
With that being said, is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yeah,
Christian
I think
film?
we
Is
voted
Christian
that it is.
a Christian movie.
I think
Comment
that-
God below if you
Yeah.
think it is.
Let us know what you're watching at home. Let us know what you're watching in the theaters.
Let us know what your religion is. Do you read the Bible?
No, you're watching too much Fincher.
Damn.
Bilal, you're watching way too much Fincher.
Just tell us your
Favorite
true
verse,
size.
favorite murder.
Yeah.
Comment down below.
Please subscribe.
wear
like,
socks.
comment. Let us know what you guys think about Fincher as a storyteller. Where do you rank him in your auteur list?
He's definitely
Tune
the Mount
in next
Rushmore.
week where we kick
Yeah.
off Wes Anderson month. And thank you guys for tuning into the WatchTower Film Podcast.
Buy new socks.
Buy new socks. Good night, everybody.
Love you guys.
Good night, guys.
The boy with the rat tattoo. Show it.
Wait. He's almost there.
Get him.
Oh, man. Yeah, my dad did a lot growing up.
All right, good night, everybody.